Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Chao Garden Podcast. This one is a special one because it's the Chao Garden Awards. I plan on doing this yearly before the Chao Garden Podcast, with the Minute Chow Podcast. We were doing this the past 3 years, and now we're back to do it for the Chao Garden. The way this is going to work is we choose different awards that are typically not at like the Game Awards, so it's not going to be like best. Oh, well, we do have best art direction. But I'll have a few of those, but we also have something like best water, like a joke category, or biggest disappointment, which those happen in games sometimes. So we're going to do a bunch of different categories, and then we're all going to end with our top 5 games of the year. So, and then under Berto's suggestion, it was a really, really good one. For if we have similar games or the same games but at different numbers, we're going to hold the discussion of those games after, like, until whoever has them the highest. If no one else has those games, I guess we can just talk about it then and there, since there won't be any other opportunity.
Yeah, so someone has like I was using Mario Wonder as like the example. Mario Wonder at number 5. Someone else can be like, "Oh, I have Mario Wonder higher." So then we would wait to everyone talk about it until whoever has Mario Wonder at the highest point on the list.
Yep.
Just to avoid repeated discussion of the game if it's in multiple slots.
Yeah, for sure. So that's what we're gonna do. And normally we would do what everyone's been playing, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go with the introductions. To my left, to my left is Russ. Russ, how you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Bottom right is Berto. Welcome back, Berto.
Hello.
And then a new guest for the Chao Garden was a regular during the Midnight Channel is Ivan. How you doing, Ivan?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, so Ivan's Chao is based off of Jolene from JoJo. So that was really cool for Marissa. Marissa did that one today. So yeah, we're not gonna go with what we've been playing. We're just gonna go straight to the awards. The first one that I got right here is biggest surprise, and I think we're gonna go counterclockwise. So we'll start off with Russ, and we'll end with me. Russ, what was your biggest surprise for 2023?
Mine was the announcement for Jet Set Radio, a new one. I did not expect a new Jet Set. I kind of thought that it might happen because there was a lot of hype for Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. I hope the new Jet Set is good. I absolutely did not expect to see an announcement for that, though.
All right, yeah. I thought that's pretty recent too. That one really shocked me, especially the fact that they announced, was it 5 games? It was Jet Set, Shinobi, Golden Axe, Crazy Taxi, and Streets of Rage.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. So that's a really, really good choice. Did anyone else have that? Any of those? Okay. Yeah, that's a really, really good. That was a really, really big surprise.
I realized that my big surprise is I was like, oh, I could have gone a different way with it.
Okay.
It's fine. Someone else might have the one I just thought of when I thought of the direction Russ went.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead, Berto. What was your biggest surprise then?
So it's related to a different category. It's coming up, but it's God of War Valhalla.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't expecting this to be as good as it was, and the announcement that it was just free DLC and it's out in like a couple days was pretty cool, because I forgot. Obviously, they're going to do DLC for this game.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was like, oh well, here you go. It was like kind of shadow dropped. Like, it was pretty soon after. Was pretty cool.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's also a really, really good one. Mine was between 3 different things. Those 2.
3.
Yeah, 3 different things.
3. Like, is 3 important in that game that you're thinking about?
A little. It's between 3 different things, and I chose the one that has 3 in it. So, Ivan, what was your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise was the leak video of Persona 3 Reload, because people were uncertain if it was actually legit or not, but I thought it looked too real for it to not be. And it turned out it was almost the same clip that was like released a long time ago. And so when they finally announced, well, it wasn't announced for a while because it was just fully leaked, and also you showed it to me on the whole GameStop side things. Um, I had a feeling it was gonna come up, but I thought it was gonna take too long. And I thought it was gonna be until next year. But then they finally announced it and then showed exactly how the game looks.
Mm-hmm.
With that brief trailer, and knowing that I was gonna come out next, well, technically in a month.
Yeah.
The
Oh
top
my
next
God.
year.
Yeah, it is in a month.
So that was an awesome surprise to see, because I have been waiting for that remake for so long.
Yeah.
Because I've been holding off on playing the original game on my PlayStation 2 because I wanted to play the remake.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. We're really really close to it. Oh my God, the next 2 months are crazy. But yeah, with me, my biggest surprise is Little Nightmares 3, the announcement of that. I don't know if that's what you were hinting at, Berto.
No, I was thinking about Persona,
Oh,
but I forgot about Little Nightmares. I was like
okay,
Nightmares.
okay.
I forgot about Little Nightmares 3. That's another good one.
Okay. Mine was Little Nightmares 3. Um, uh, I would just did not expect that to be announced. It was like every like other month or something, like the past year. Like I just think like, is Little Nightmares 2 gonna get DLC? I want Little Nightmares 3 if it's not, because Little Nightmares 1 got DLC, and it's like I'm like thinking about it, it just comes up. So like when we saw it when I was watching Summer Game Fest and it popped up, I was looking at it, everyone was focused, everyone was just staring at it. I was the first one to figure it out. It didn't take me that long, and there wasn't that much to give off that was Little Nightmares 3, but it hit me, it just hit me, and it was, I don't know, that was just a really cool announcement. I will give my runner ups though, because and everyone else is also feel free if you guys had trouble deciding for this one. 1,000 Year Door HD. That's
Yeah, I
that
forgot about that.
that was high up on mine, and Hi-Fi Rush, just dropping in.
True, that is
that
also
one.
big.
Yeah, that
That won't be the last time we talk about that game.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, I forgot
It
about.
won't be the last time we talk
I
about
don't
it.
know why, because that was the only thing that actually made me super excited. In that direct,
yeah,
because I was
1,000
just
Year
like,
Door.
"This is what I think it is," and it looked clean. And then I looked back at like the old footage, and I also went to play my old save file on the GameCube. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is like, I love the," because I've been saying for so long. I was just like, I want to see 1,000 Year Door with Origami King graphics, because I loved how Origami King looked.
Yeah, so those were my runner ups. I don't know. Does anyone else want to share any runner ups that they had?
I mean, Persona was the other one I was thinking of, like
Okay.
for me as a choice.
Oh,
Little
okay.
Nightmares 3, I didn't think about it, but that's a really good one because I never. It makes sense because those games probably made hella money.
Yeah.
And they're probably pretty easy to make because they're smaller. But that was like I wasn't expecting a 3.
Yeah,
which is
it
cool.
looks like it's gonna be co-op too, so that's that. Oh man, I'm excited for that. Anyone else before we move on?
My runner-up was gonna be Lethal Company itself.
Okay.
I didn't expect it to be that hard of a game, like to pop off, because it was just like suddenly my friends were like, "Hey, do you want to join us in the game?" And they always ask me if I want to play a new game with them, and I always said no. And they're like, "Just watch this one and just watch a run through." And I was like, "Okay, how much is it? $10? All right, I'll get it." All right, there was one of the few games that they convinced me to buy, and I was like, "Dude, this game is insanely good."
Okay.
Because there have been so many great moments.
Yeah, I was playing. It's just, yeah, it's really really fun. It's I agree. That game is really cool, and Russ and Berto, if you guys get the chance to play that, you guys totally should. It's really really funny. Definitely need to play with some friends. If either of you get it, let me know and we'll play something. It's really really funny. It's like people on Twitter were comparing it, funnily enough, to Pikmin 2, because you're getting sent, like the person getting sent to a den to retrieve treasure, and getting hunted by things. It was really really funny how people were comparing it. All right, we can move to our next category then. The next category is the complete opposite of biggest surprise, which is our biggest disappointment. And I was also wrestling with two things on this one. Russ, what was your biggest disappointment?
I would be shocked if anybody else has this one, but it's Bayonetta Origins.
Okay.
The Cereza game. I'm pretty sure I mentioned before, like Bayonetta is one of my favorite series, and this game, when it was announced, I thought it looked really cool, but playing it, I just wanted to fall asleep. I just could not get into it.
Could not agree disagree harder with you.
Oh,
That game is
Really,
great. I love
I
Bayonetta Origins.
I just could not get into it, and I just felt it was kind of boring. Maybe I didn't get far enough. I think I put maybe 2 hours into it, and I'm just like, I don't have an urge to go back to it.
it's also a very different game, isn't it? Though, so it's like
It's a puzzle action game. It's totally different.
Yeah, so it's like that style might have just not connected with you, but I totally see, especially if it's not something that you were that you really get into often, anyways.
I might try to go back to it because it's a Bayonetta game. Maybe I was just not in the right mindset when I played it. That could be too, because I played it on launch when it came out, and I tend to be somebody that if I'm not in the mood for the game right at that time, I won't enjoy it. I kind of have to pick my games based on what I feel like.
Yeah.
So it could have just been like a wrong time kind of thing too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's also a fair assessment of like sometimes you're just not in the mood for a particular game.
Yeah, but
I've had that happen with like TV shows too, where it's like I'll watch this show like twice and like I can't get through it, and then like the third time I try to watch, I'm like, this is the best show ever. Like, it literally happened with Steins Gate, one of my favorite anime of all time. I tried to watch it at least twice, and I was like, this show sucks. And then the third time, I broke through the barrier, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I hope you can. I hope if you do decide to go back to it, you enjoy it more. But I totally see
I hope
that.
you like it because I really liked it. I didn't get to beat it, but it's a game that I want to go back to.
For sure. Berto, what was your biggest disappointment?
Mario Wonders co-op sucks ass.
It's
It's
Really
so unfun.
now?
It's so unfun to play when you're playing with other people.
Why is
And
that?
I thought fucking the new Super Mario Brothers games sucked co-op. Like they removed a lot of the annoying things of like being able to pick up people and like dunk on them. But like I kind of miss those. Like I feel like it would make the game even more fun.
Okay.
But it's just the way like the camera works with like one person being in control.
Okay. I do
And,
agree.
like-
That camera is really annoying.
Yeah, so it's like when I'm playing with Lauren, it's just like super annoying because I'll be like going one way or like she'll be going one way, and I'm like, wait, no, we have to go back for a secret. But it's like she's already passed it. It's like, well, I'm gonna die here. I'm
she's
turning
going
into a
forward.
ghost.
Okay.
I hope you get me. You know, so
Okay.
it's not terrible, but like I wish it was better.
I can totally see it. My experience with it, I played the first world with Ivan. We had a good time, but we were all in like the same mindset where we were all like, no one was trying to go so much further ahead. Like we were all like we were like a hive mind in that sense. So we didn't get conflict that much from it. But I do see that is annoying because I have played it with a few people that does get annoying. The online oh, go ahead.
Have you played it with more than two?
Yeah, it was three. It was three of us.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I played it with three, and that's where I was like, oh my god, I can't even like. I thought two was bad. I can't even imagine it with four people.
Yeah, four. So I played it online, and online you each have your own camera, so it's really cool.
Oh, okay, that's better.
It's sad that, so like, let's say I'm playing with Ivan or you, or the three of us are playing online. We will be in that level but we all have to select it. It's like basically a server where we can all play through our own campaign, but we can see each other in levels.
Oh, so are we all like the ghosts? Is that how it looks like?
Okay. We're not like like the one we're dead ghosts, but
but like the online ghosts.
We're like the online ghosts. But what's really cool is like if you died, you turn into a ghost, and I can save you. You don't start from the beginning.
Like the online part of it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's just like the local co-op sucks ass.
Okay.
And I wished it was better.
Okay, for sure. Ivan, what was your biggest disappointment?
No, I'm just like I don't know how you can. I personally love the camera in Super Mario Wonder because it's literally the same feeling that I got from playing New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and I loved how that worked. It was a little weird and wonky because I always thought it was the first player to control the camera, but I realized it seems like
whoever ends the level.
Is
it's
it
whoever
really
ends the level highest on the pole, and then if that person dies in the level in the next level, it just goes to like a random person, I guess.
That's amazing. I love that because I remember times where I'm like, finally I get to control the camera. We can go wherever I want to go. I love that way more because in Mario Bros. Wii, you just can't really do that. You always have to call the first player.
Yeah, I know Wii was like that.
And I don't know, Super Mario Wonder I feel is just super fun. So I can't I don't know why you two would have an issue, but I guess it's like, you're not really having.
I feel like having someone, if it's always the first player, you always know who it's going to be without having to look to see who has the crown. Which, when you're doing like a quick run thing, like, oh, I'm trying to do this level really quick. Oh, I forgot. I'm not in control of the camera.
Mm-hmm. And some
like,
of
that messes you up.
Some of the challenge levels are also like unintuitive for multiplayer. Like the challenge levels are definitely made for single player.
I only played the first world.
Yeah.
Jesus, I want to play more. Of the game.
I mean, to be fair,
so
we've only done like the first 2 worlds, so we haven't done that much.
I want to play multiplayer on the game so badly, but I don't have the game right now.
If you get it, I'd play it online with you.
Yeah,
I'd be down.
I will say if I were to change the camera system, I would change it to a system that I'm not sure if any of you know the game Super Mario Brothers X. That was like it was before Mario Maker existed. It was a Mario editor like engine where you can create whatever you want in a variety of different styles. You can customize it however you want. When they did the 2-player mode, it was always one screen, and whenever they split off, they both had separate cameras, and then they would merge into each other once. They're in their range.
Is that a ROM hack or is it like a fan?
It's not a ROM hack.
It's a fan-made game.
It's a fan.
Yeah, because
it's a fan-made game. It was an open source evolution of a certain game. Game of a Mario game engine.
Gotcha.
Stuff that you can build from like the original Mario Brothers and on. I'm gonna try and see if I can find the video for 2 players, but that's how I can see them
doing it. That would be really cool.
Doing it. That's why I always found it super fun when playing on that, because it wouldn't just be horizontal, it'd also be vertical and also diagonal, whichever you go. But no matter what, right in the middle of the screen, it splits off if both players are separated, but once they're both in the same screen, it's all one camera.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right.
And yeah, you can check it out on that video. It'll show a lot more, like probably around minute 3 is exactly where you can see it, and it splits off dynamically. So it won't just be a slide off right in the middle. If there's a certain point where you both are just like on the like same vertically, or like different horizontal, like how to say this? If one player is above the other at a certain like level, it splits off vertically instead of horizontally. Sorry, opposite.
Yeah, horizontally instead of okay. Got that's actually really cool how it's dynamic.
So yeah, if you guys wanted, that's how I would see if they would ever do anything with that. I would say that's probably a much nicer way, but that's only for 2 players, so I don't know how they would do it for 4.
Okay.
But let me see. So I'm glad no one has said this yet, but for the biggest disappointment for me, I found it to be Fire Emblem Engage's story. I wanted to just skip through all the story so badly, but there's a part of me that just can't skip parts of the story unless I'm just generally not interested at all. At first, it was nice, but then, like, mild spoilers into the beginning, but there was a certain cutscene that lasted for like 10 minutes long because of someone's death, and it was absurd. Like, it just felt so unnecessary, and I'm just like, this, like, what's going on here?
Engage's story sucks ass. It's a really good gameplay. That story's ass.
It's insanely fun. I found it more fun than Three Houses because I actually really like the triangle system. And it's so much more, like, it has so much more cool mechanics that I never expected. Like, what was it called? Not really baton pass, but like, it's where you have like supports coming in because they're like adjacent and they're also a backup unit. That mechanic is super cool because it avoids it provides a bigger challenge in that, where you can't just block everything if you have high defense. That's true damage if you're ever surrounded, and it's pretty smart. And it's back and forth to both of you, so it's like you can get guaranteed true damage on either side. And I found that pretty nice and challenging, and I played it on hard mode, so I found enjoyment. So I might go back and play it if I want to on the hardest difficulty. But the story, like I was playing with my friend, and we were just like, we do not care about the story at all
Yeah.
and what is going on. It's funny, and I like what they were going with, but like it just
Yeah. No,
it just doesn't
yeah. It's
fall.
bad. It's bad.
It doesn't hit at all. The villain is very bleh. I don't really care at all. And most of the things that were going on in the kingdoms, okay, two of the kingdoms were pretty boring. Like there was no point. I forgot what that kingdom was called in the desert.
I forgot most
That
of that
and
game.
I'm not gonna lie, I also didn't really care too much about Firene.
Okay.
Uh, I my favorite was Brodia though.
Okay. But it's
Brodia,
pretty good.
pretty good. That was probably my favorite part of the story, but it's just I I just looked like whenever there was a cutscene, I just let it play because I don't know why. I have a I keep telling myself I have a standard to never skip cutscenes, but at that point I should have just skipped the cutscenes because I was just on my phone the whole time, letting the cutscene.
Yeah. Okay. Um, for sure. Yeah.
My God,
That's a good one. Um, before I go on with mine, I do want to preface our category awards, like up until our top five games of the year, those will be for things that are this year. Our top five games of the year, I think I let that one be whatever games you played this year for the first time. It does not have to be from this year. Uh my list is gonna be off from or my list is all gonna be off from 2023. I think a few others might too. But we'll find out. We'll get there when we get there. But I know that I forgot to say that at the beginning of the podcast. So I wanted to say that now. And I'll probably say it one more time in case there's anyone that was skipping through it to the top five games. I'll probably say that right before then there as well. My biggest disappointment, uh, and that is not with the game itself. My biggest disappointment was Jedi Survivor with how I experienced it, where it released really, the performance was really poor at launch. It was really poor at launch. So I set it aside. I was like, okay, you know what? I'll go back to this in a few months. I went down my backlog. I beat Final Fantasy 16. And I was like, okay, it's time to go back, see what happened. And it was patched decently. It wasn't like perfect still, but it was able to keep it together at least. It wasn't the screen tearing wasn't as bad, but it was still a little choppy. And then I beat it, and like 2 weeks later, they fully fixed it, where it's like fully 60 FPS permanently. So that's my biggest disappointment. Like I went through the whole game, and I toughed it out for so long not playing it, and I was like, okay, fine. It's been like 4 months. I'll finally go back to it, and then month 5 or month 6 is when they fully patched it up. So there's that. I guess my runner up is Sonic Superstars. So that's my runner up with those bosses. Uh, anyone else want to say any other contenders for disappointments, or you just want to go to best character?
I think we can go to best character. I
Okay.
don't have anything else.
Okay. Well, we're moving on to best character then. Russ, what was your best character of 2023?
So I feel like I can't or shouldn't say a lot about this character, but mine was Karlach from Baldur's Gate. I really liked her story, and I thought it was rather heartwarming.
Awesome.
I also just like really like the look of her character, and I think she's a really good character, and she's always going to be on every single party that I can.
Good.
So.
Awesome. I love Karlach. Is she who you're planning on romancing in your campaigns?
So I think I mentioned in the last podcast I screwed up my main profile, so I couldn't get her.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was romancing Shadowheart instead.
Okay.
And now I actually just bought it on PC, so I double dipped. And I started playing that one, and I'm going to go and try to romance Karlach on that one.
Okay. All right. There is something really, really cute once you do. So, give me updated on that. It's really, really cool. Karlach's awesome. Karlach's great. Berto.
Best character is Rusty from Ace Combat 6. My boy is the best co-pilot, the best anime like cool pro tag that comes along. He just calls you buddy all the time on your missions. He's the first person that's nice to you in that game, who doesn't treat you like you're just a hired gun or a piece of shit mercenary. And his, depending on different things in the story, either at the end of the game he can fight alongside you, or like you have to kill him. And it's like when I killed him, I literally cried. I was like, no, buddy, no, I'm sorry, I have to do this. But the next playthrough, you're good. I got you.
You're good. Is it for Armored Core 6?
Armored Core 6. Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes, I realized I said AC6. There's a lot of ACs.
Yeah. There is
Very common. It's like GOW. It's a very common.
Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
But yeah, Rusty from Armored Core 6 he's great. His mech is fucking cool. Steel haze. It's just everything about him just screams like I'm the cool like pro tag, but the player has to be the pro tag of the game.
Okay. For sure. Okay,
Yeah,
that's sweet. I haven't gotten to Armored Core 6 yet, but once I do, I'll keep in mind that
he's cool. He comes around like in the end of the first chapter, the beginning of the second chapter or something. It's Operation Wall Climber is the mission.
Okay.
And it's cool.
For sure.
He's the best. I love him so much. Every time it came on, I was like, yeah, buddy. Okay. Yeah, it's a good mission because Rusty's here.
Nice. Ivan, what's your best character of 2023?
It's a little hard because there were not a lot of games that I played that year.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the characters that I played they were just like, how to describe this? There was no character. So
Okay.
it was hard to figure out, especially because I was trying to still beat one of them. So for now, I put Shinigami from Rain Code.
Okay.
Because she's pretty funny. All the humor is just absurd. And also I just like the whole concept of like you're just in a contract with a death god. And how nonchalantly she just treats everything around her in regards to just death. It's like, oh yeah, that's a corpse. You want to play cards on it? Type of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like, it's a bit absurd and crude, but I kind of like that humor sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so far she's been pretty good in regards to just enjoying the character. But there's not really anything else in the story that I can say other than Yuma. But I mean, Yuma's character development is still being built up right now. And I wasn't really sure what to say for Fire Emblem because it was hard because all the characters were just very, very, very simple.
Yeah, one dimensional. A lot of them are. Yeah.
So I just put Shinigami. It was just very hard because again, most of the games I put on this list, I haven't fully beat.
Okay.
I'll be honest. And it's a little unfortunate that I had to say that, but I just didn't beat them.
Okay.
And it's not because they're bad, but it's just because I kind of mismanaged my time on doing other things.
Okay. Sounds good. My best character is Clive Rossfield from Final Fantasy 16. I really, really like Clive as protagonist. A lot of it is definitely because of Ben Starr. Ben Starr definitely makes the character. No reason to like Clive until his performance. He makes that character so well, and it's just very. Clive is just a very, very good character in the game, especially since you go through so much time with him, and I don't have really too much to say besides I think he's a really good character, and by the end of Final Fantasy 16 I was just fully engrossed with him and his story, so I'll go with Clive as mine. And now we move on to best water. So, this one, I leave it up into interpretation. Is it the best looking water? Is it the best water mechanics? I don't know. Let's see. Russ, what did you choose for best water?
Mine is very specific.
Okay.
So in Baldur's Gate 3, when you use Create Water, for some reason, like the little splash it does, I just really like what it looks like, and I've used it just to see it, even though there's like no use for it.
Okay, is the Create Water spell? Okay, well,
it's worth the wasted spell spot.
Yeah, and this is why I love this award, because it's so up to interpretation. You just did a spell slot. That's really funny. Berto, what got best water?
At the end of the chapters in Alan Wake 2, there's like a weird little visual that happens, and in it there's just a very weird like wavy water effect.
Okay.
And part of it's probably because I listened to the songs there, so I let it like just stay there for like a while, and I was like, "Yo, this is really trippy and cool." So like that gets mine. The end chapters of Alan Wake 2. That's
okay.
Great water in there.
Okay.
It's probably actually like real water that they just filmed, but so it's probably cheating. It's probably not like, you know.
But hey,
graphic water.
And
that's real.
And that's why we don't discriminate against water here. We're open to any types of water here. Ivan, what got best water for you, buddy?
I chose Kanai Ward from Raincode because it's just always constantly raining. And just the gloomy environment that it encapsulates for everyone, just always having to go around and just like looking at the people just like talking the city. And so just like with it always being in constant water, I was just like kind of an interesting atmosphere that I actually kind of enjoy. And also they're not really random poems, but the poems that go along that help that Yuma makes in relation to the rain pouring are also pretty nice as well.
Okay, cool. And my pick for best water is Octopath Traveler 2. Just anytime there's a river, it's so shimmery, it's so lovely. You can sail the sea actually at a certain point in the story. It's very expensive to do that, but you can do it at a certain point in the story, and when you go into battle, you see the water there. It's just a really beautiful game, and it's a one that uses pixel art, and the water is not pixel art. The water looks very, very good. So I'm gonna go with Octopath Traveler 2. And now that we're done best water, we go to best DLC. So this one, we got a lot of pretty good DLC this year. I didn't play all of it, all the DLC. I think I only played 2 or maybe I played 3, I think, but we'll see what everyone says. I think I might know Russ's, but I'm curious to see. Russ, what was your best DLC?
So I don't usually play DLC a lot. I don't like. It's hard for me to go back to a game just for DLC. I played 5 this year though, surprisingly.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I might not know yours then.
I'm sure you do. It's Sonic Frontiers.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay.
So I think it would have been the Pokemon DLC if that was free. It's not worth the $40 that I paid for it, and I'm kind of mad I paid for it. But I like Sonic Frontiers. I thought it was fun to go back to. I felt like I didn't have to do everything, and I liked that I didn't have to like complete it. But it was fun to be able to play as all the characters, especially Knuckles. I had a lot of fun with, even though his gliding mechanic was kind of wonky.
Mm-hmm.
I still thought it was a lot of fun to go back to that game because I really do like the music and stuff, and the boss fights are fun in that game.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, the Frontiers DLC was really well done. That boss fight pissed me off though. That final boss fight.
I had to look up how to do it.
It's because there's no lock on, so like I knew what I had to do, but it kept not locking on, so I kept messing up, and it made me upset. But the DLC was.
The guides were saying just like mash the button to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to keep mashing the attack button to finally hit what you're supposed to hit.
I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, but it's also it is very good. It is very good. Berto.
I said this would come up again. It's God of War Valhalla.
Okay.
So the Kratos story, like what he's going through, and it just really resonated with like things that are very relevant in my life at this moment. Like literally, like when he gets in to Valhalla and like the first couple of things of like him like trying to come to grips with like his past actions and like trying to like overcome them and like thinking he's not like worthy of things because of things that he's done. Like I was already like crying like almost when that happened. So like I like when it came to the end, I cried a little bit, but it just the story just resonated so much with like things that are very relevant to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the gameplay loop was just so fun. Like I forgot how fun that game was, especially when it like shown even more when it's like, oh, we're literally just doing mostly combat. Like sure, there's the quiet moments in between, but like, it was just a lot of combat because I feel like not the first, but like when you're playing the normal game, there's a lot more quiet time than there is in Valhalla, just because it's just like these shorter story snippets and then like a little bit longer combat, which is like about the same. Whereas I feel like there was longer sections of this is just us talking, and then you do a little bit of combat, and then there's more talking. So it was like, yeah, very good. Didn't expect to vibe so much with this game and for it to hit me in the feels so hard, but yeah, it was great. I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, Valhalla is very good. I beat it a few days ago, and it's really really cool. It's really cool, and I don't know. There's a lot of
Did
people.
you lose to Tier? Did you lose to Tier at all?
No.
Anytime? I
No,
told you he's
yeah,
easy. He's
yeah.
not. He's the easiest part of the DLC. I don't know
Yeah.
why people have trouble with Tier.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on Twitter that talk about how hard the DLC is.
Did you play on normal?
Yeah, I played on normal.
Yeah, I'm like I died in the beginning when I didn't have things upgraded.
Okay.
Like I died maybe twice.
I died once in my second to last run is actually when I died once, and it was to a different boss fight.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Once I started upgrading things, I didn't die.
Okay.
I just had. You just need to get strength and vitality. If you grab those, you're good.
Yeah.
You hit things hard, they don't hit you as hard.
Yeah, exactly. Ivan, what's your DLC of this year?
I'm very
2023?
sad that because I want to say Cyberpunk, but I never played the game. But I've
Okay.
heard so many great things about it.
Okay.
So this might be cheating, but I'll just say the Mario Kart DLC.
That's not
Because
cheating. It came
always-
out this year.
because those are always
Good
super
DLC.
fun to play, especially the Yoshi's Island one.
Oh yeah.
That Yoshi's Island track, amazing. So I see why Diana said why she decided to go back and play Yoshi's Island again, because oh man, all of it was just so like weirdly nostalgic, even though like I played Yoshi's Island back when I was like 17.
Yeah. So it's so good. The Mario Kart DLC, always, every time it comes out, we got on, played it, had a good time. It's just very fun.
Super fun.
Super fun.
We'll see when they decide to make the next game. But yeah, that's not cheating. It finished up this year. It's totally valid to talk about it.
It's all worth the money to have all of those tracks.
Okay.
But again, the only thing that this is just my personal gripe. I hate Mario Kart Tour maps.
Okay.
I hate every single one.
I think
they're not all bad.
Yeah,
Some of them are cool.
I think there's some really good ones. Vancouver.
I don't like how they change like every lap. Like you have to go left or you have to go right.
I like that.
I don't like it.
It confuses the hell out of me too, but I really like it because you see so many different things. I think it's really very cool.
It just trips me up so much, and so like when I feel like I'm in the flow, once I pass that second lap, I'm like, okay, I can't just go with my flow of how I originally went for the first track. I have to go whichever way they tell me to.
That's unfortunate because I feel like that's something they're gonna do with original maps in the next game. So I hope I hope you start to like it, because I haven't. I don't know if it'll be like every track, but I feel like that'll be another thing. Like how you know how Mario Kart 7 introduced like Maka Woohoo Loop, where it's just one long track.
Perfectly fine.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the DLC introduced with the tour tracks that it's like a different thing each time. I think Mario Kart 9 and Mario Kart 10 we'll still have like the one lap tracks with the really long ones. I think we'll have ones that change every lap. I don't think it'll be every single map, but I think they're gonna like mix them in there. I think it'll do it.
You're still not gonna convince me. I'm sorry.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just telling you get used to it, because I think that's what's gonna happen.
I'm not. If that's the case, then I'm just gonna play old Mario Karts. I have all of them now, except for Super Nintendo.
That's cool. I'm itching for a new Mario Kart. I'm excited for the next one. So that's what I'm waiting for. But the DLC is very good. My favorite DLC was Xenoblade 3 Future Redeemed.
I'm waiting for a sale so I can buy it. I'm waiting for that sale.
You're in for that sale? Yeah, I got it. I played through it. It's beautiful. It's awesome. It's its own game.
I've heard it's very good. I really want to play it.
It ties everything together so well, and it's so good to have a conclusion to this. This was my game of the year last year. The DLC is my favorite DLC this year. It's no surprise on that. So I'll move on to best cover art. I like cover art a lot. I think it's things about physical media that I really like, and even not in digital media, the icons for the games, I think those are really cool. So, Russ, what was your best cover art this year?
So I struggled with this one until about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I don't know if this is going to be cheating. You said it, the icons count, so I was going with Hi-Fi Rush. I just really liked it. Was like it really pops, and I just like that they show all the characters like in action. I just think it kind of just represents the game pretty well.
Yeah, the Hi-Fi Rush art is the key art is very good. So
I almost chose that one too. So that was it was like in like my top 3 of like what I was trying to decide between.
Yeah, I that was also one of my contenders. Boxer is very good. Berto, what did you end up going with?
In keeping with a digital game, the key art for Alan Wake 2 is just very striking to me. Like the red with Alan superimposed on like the tree and like Saga looking back.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just a very striking visual of like the bright like red on the bottom and like the dark like green coming out. Like it's just very eerie, and I think it's very evocative of the game itself.
Yeah. That key art is very cool. Okay, hopefully
that's. Yeah, I mean, I'll buy a physical one if they make it, but
we'll see.
Listen, I almost bought the game on Epic just to get the
Alan Wake skin?
Alan Wake Fortnite skin.
Me too. I almost did that too.
I was so torn. Oh, but do I want to spend another like $25 to not even play it on my PC?
Yeah,
and I can't like gift it to someone else.
Yeah,
if I could gift it to someone else and get the skin, I would do that. But
you have to gift it to me. It's fine.
You can't gift it.
You can't gift on Epic.
Yeah. That sucks. Oh man. Yeah.
But yeah, it was either that or Armored Core 6.
Okay.
I like the Armored Core 6 one too.
Okay.
And then Hi-Fi Rush. Those are my 3.
Cool. Ivan, what was your best cover last year?
But I really liked the visual art for Raincode with how everything looks and also with how deceiving it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they did the same thing. I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Jesus.
Yeah, they did something very cool.
When on the first, technically the prologue, chapter 0, I kept looking back just like I'm double making sure if they were on here.
Oh, okay.
And so
it's very good.
It's very good and also insanely deceiving, but also that's just a thing that Kodaka also loves to do as well. And so I loved it a lot because just how everything looks too. Like the more I play, I actually finally like appreciate everything that's going on with the art style.
Yeah.
Also, the art style is just beautiful. I love how everything looks in the game in regards to the UI. Or at least for the character portraits. The character portraits feel like they have so much more expression. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the cover art.
Yeah. So in fact, that was also my pick. It was also my pick for it. It's very good. My runner-up though, which I'll talk about now since this was my pick, is the Steelbook. Well, it's just a cover art for the game itself, but I love the Steelbook for Octopath Traveler too. I love how it's them. It's just black and white. It's just very well done. So Kodaka is very good art. And Berto, you need to play the game.
I know
haven't played the game.
No, and Itachi got it for us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's because I have to play it with Lauren, so I can't play it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's on the list of games that we're gonna try to co-op this year.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly very long.
It's a Kodaka game. How is that surprising?
I mean, it's because I was so used to 1 and 2 types of length for gameplay, but I knew V3 was a very long game, and I was expecting this to just be kind of like the same length as maybe Danganronpa 2, but like V3 took me 50 hours to beat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Wrinkle's the long one.
I love the story
It's good.
and the gameplay.
Yeah. It's just really good. Worst cover art is next. There's some stinker cover arts once in a while. So what did you go with, Russ?
If I'm being honest, I didn't have a worst one.
Okay.
But I do, or I should say, I don't like that Karlach's not on the cover of Baldur's Gate, even though I knew she wouldn't be.
That sucks because Astarion, Shadowheart, and Will are, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So that is disappointing. That key art is very good, but it is disappointing that Karlach's not there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Berto.
Funny you should say that because I don't like the cover art for Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh,
because
okay.
it doesn't keep in like it doesn't look like the ones for 1 and 2. I wish I had like the old school like D&D book cover kind of look to it.
Okay.
This is like kind of a joke answer, but then I was like, oh yeah, like the other two had like a style like that. I mean, it makes sense because this game is about the characters, like you know, that's what everyone's JOing about. So, yeah, it was like kind of a joke answer, but I was like, yeah, I kind of wish it had that. And like, I don't think the physical version has like I think it has an alternate cover, but I don't think it looks like that. If it does, then I'm wrong, and they fixed it when they actually made the physical media. But yeah, I didn't really have an answer, so I just wanted to pick Baldur's Gate 3 to put it somewhere in my list of answers for things.
Okay.
There's nowhere else.
For sure. Ivan.
Oh my god, this is like as interesting and hyped as the announcement was, or just like the release, I think it's criminal that the box art for Super Mario RPG looks like that. Like I hate the white background.
I like it. I think it's funny. I think it's so funny.
Man, I was hoping it'd be the same style as a Super Nintendo where it has the castle and the sword and all that stuff. But it literally looks like you just copy and pasted an image on there, and I just don't like it.
Yeah,
like
they went with the Japanese box art instead of the NTSC one. Yeah,
like I just can't imagine going through all of your collection of Switch games, looking at all the awesome cover arts, and then seeing this. I'm just like, it's disappointing, man. I'm so glad I never bought it.
All right. Well, I'll do you one better. You have a excellent cast of characters, fantastic cast, and then you make this your cover.
What is it? Oh, Street Fighter 6.
And you make Luke. It's just Luke, and it's like, yeah, he's cool. But like, it's Street Fighter. It's not Luke Fighter. It's like it's just this guy. It's the same gripe that I have for like The Last of Us Part 2 cover art. It's like it's just Ellie looking angry. This one is just Luke winning. And it's like you have so many characters. Like, look how many characters you have, and you couldn't think of a front cover with a bunch of them. You have them in the back.
I wonder if part of that is, are they trying to like transition Luke into like being the new Ryu, like being like the main.
I think they are.
You think of?
I think they are, but
okay.
I think they are, but I don't know. I still wish they would have done it because like even
it still looks dumb.
Yeah. So
even if it was like Luke surrounded by other people, but he's still like the main, the one front and center.
Yeah, because like even if like I had the same complaint if it was Ken or not Ken, Ryu. Like I don't like him. It's just one. I almost went with Spider-Man 2. Because
Spider-Man 2 was also on my like short list of like ones that could have been on the bad one, as I don't like it either.
I think Jedi Survivor was on that list too for me. The Jedi Survivor did a little bit more for it, but I mean the Jedi Survivor, I think it was gonna be Jedi Survivor. This is Jedi Survivors. I got the deluxe though, so the deluxe with the white borders around kind of saved it because I do like the white borders around it. The regular Jedi Survivor is just is just this art. I think worse than it. A little bit. I don't think it has the shipping. I don't know. Either Just Survive was a part of it. On the short list, but I went with Street Fighter 6. So that's a decision that I will have to live with.
When you picked up the box for Street Fighter 6, it almost looked like they could have just swapped the two pictures. Like had the one with the group on the front and then have Luke on the back.
Yeah, totally. Because it looks in the front. Like even Ryu and Ken are to his side, so they could have totally used this one.
I like the art on the back too. It's almost like retro looking.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. It's very, very good. So it is. I don't know where Evan went, but he'll be back. We're gonna move on to best soundtrack, and hope maybe we'll talk about it enough before he comes back. Let's go with it. So Russ, what was your best soundtrack?
Probably not surprising, but Hi-Fi Rush.
Okay.
I loved like every song in that game.
Nice. Did you, any particular one that you really like?
I like the boss theme for, I think it's the first boss.
The 9 Inch Nails song, the first 9 Inch Nails song. Yeah.
It just felt really good, and it felt good to fight to it. Okay.
Yeah. Berto, was yours Hi-Fi Rush or is it a different game?
No, it was almost Hi-Fi Rush. So
okay.
It was very close.
Okay, then it's not mine, but I want to mention two ones that like really stuck out to me for the boss fights. Mimosa's theme when you fight Mimosa. I thought her boss fight song was really, really good. I think it's an original too. And then the Financer, the Wolf his song was so cool too.
The one for me that I always think about is the one in the lunchroom.
Oh yeah.
That's the one that I'm like, that's the song for me.
Oh man, I want to replay Hi-Fi Rush now, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, I do too with all the DLC, like the roguelike mode they added.
Yeah.
But yeah, that almost was mine.
Oh man, dude. Yeah. Okay. So what did you end up picking?
Alan Wake 2, baby.
Okay.
Alan Wake 2 stay winning.
All right.
Again, we'll jump back to the end chapter songs. They're all so good, and they all relate either lyrically or thematically, or like literally they will have lyrics from like a different like media that relates to Alan Wake 2, like that's canon in the universe, that uses the same lyrics from like a poem this other guy wrote who's like in the universe. So it just all like ties on like so many meta layers, and the songs are like really good.
Okay.
Like there's this one about Night Springs, but it's like very catchy and like very like funky and like dumb, but it's like it's so cheesy. It's so fun to like sing and like dance to and like bop to that's one of the ones that's on repeat. But like I literally have a playlist. They're all on my playlist. Like none of them are like, this one's not very good. It's like they literally are all on there.
Okay, for sure. All right.
So awesome. Yeah, when you get to the end chapters, I literally would like let it play.
I'm probably gonna update you as I go through the game.
Yes,
I'm probably gonna update you as I go through it. Okay. I think I know your answer, Ivan. What's your soundtrack of 2023?
This is hard, but I decided to give it to Fire Emblem Engage.
Oh, okay.
The music in that game, I love the battle music a lot.
Okay.
And I was surprised. I actually enjoyed the final boss music a lot more than I expected. Because I was expecting it to be bad.
Okay. I thought you were gonna go with Rain Code.
That was my second option.
Okay.
But Engage, like it actually, like with the gameplay and the music, it felt so soothing to play through it while I was just like frustrated trying to figure out how to get out of a situation, because I always trying to make sure none of my units die. But I really love the music for that, and also, I also love the what's the like the hub world music where you transition from like between times in the day.
Yeah.
Well, like, whenever I go there and just walk around, it's just so relaxing to listen to that music.
Yeah, Engage's soundtrack is really good. I didn't like it, it's very underrated in my opinion. It is very, very good. My pick is Octopath Traveler 2. That soundtrack is just so incredibly composed, and it's a crime when the first game got snubbed at the Game Awards, and it's a crime that this one didn't even get mentioned for anything at this past Game Awards. I get it. It's not the type of game that would, but the soundtrack for Octopath is just incredible, and very, very, very close to it was Final Fantasy 16 for me.
I was gonna say is he gonna say Final Fantasy 16? But then I was like, oh yeah, Octopath, that makes sense.
Yeah, it probably would have been Final Fantasy 16 though, and then Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush is incredible. Best art. This one I'm really interested to see what everyone's gonna say about best art. So, Russ.
Also, Hi-Fi Rush.
Okay.
That one shows up a lot on my list.
Okay.
I love that. I think that's called cell shaded, right?
Yeah.
The graphics that it is. And I this is more like direction, but I loved how everything moved with the music. Like even like the trees, the lights, like everything like bounced to the music. It just was so pretty to look at.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Berto.
I almost picked Hi-Fi Rush.
Almost.
But mine is Bayonetta Origins.
Oh, okay, awesome.
I love the storybook style to it. It's just the characters look so cute. It's especially like because it's so drastically different from like a traditional Bayonetta game in terms of how it looks.
Yeah.
It was just very fun to look at and like play. So
yeah, totally.
I do really like the art direction of that game.
Yeah, it's very visually appealing. It's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Ivan?
It's Raincoat.
It is
say
Raincoat.
Raincoat.
Okay.
But the character portraits, I love how bright and vibrant they are. And again, this like I feel like the facial expressions just feel a lot better than when you look at V3s. And V3 at the time, when looking at 2s and 3s, was a drastic difference. And I was just like, I'm thoroughly impressed. My favorites though are Yuma because I love the different stances that he has in the character portraits, where it's like him looking over in the shoulder. Like I'm sure you know about that one, right, Jesus?
Yeah.
Where it's like it's him like talking normally, all the expressions, and there are times where he's like, it feels like he's literally just talking right behind him rather than just looking at the model, and that feels so much more fitting. Because I don't know, it's just like it's all so good. And the rain and this Kanai ward itself looks visually amazing because of the rain that goes on, and it just sucks that it's limited because of the hardware. And I also just remembered while playing through the game that it was only released on the Switch.
Yep.
And so I just can't imagine how it would look on the PlayStation.
It probably will get a PlayStation port.
I sincerely hope so, and I need to see gameplay of it because it looks amazing. And also, the things that like, oh my god, even though it's like random and kind of like out of place because it's just like there's no point in it, but it was just to flex, is that long corridor in the dungeons, Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Where it just flips through a bunch of things rapidly, like puzzle pieces. And I'm pretty sure that was just a flex. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's no other reason other than just to like kill time. But I really liked it.
Okay.
It grew on me, and just the whole like I also love because I was afraid that every single chapter in regards to like visually would look the same because it's all one giant location.
Oh, gotcha.
But when you go inside, it changes. Like the one in the forest in chapter 1, and the second one being like in a school. Like those, I really really liked it because I was really worried that it was just all gonna look the same. But I'm glad they don't.
Awesome.
They all feel different.
My pick for art was also Hi-Fi Rush for us. Yeah, it's really really good, and it's just so well done. I don't really have much more to add, but the art in that was very very good. And now we move on to best co-op, which I have the same answer as Ivan, I'm pretty sure. So we'll see. Russ.
I'm pretty sure I know your answer. So.
Oh.
Mine is Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay, yeah.
That game is just so much fun with people. I think it's more fun with people than by yourself.
Okay.
And to be fair, I think that's the only co-op game I played co-op this year. But it still probably would have won. I've seen gameplay of like the Mario Wonder co-op, and I don't think I would like that like at all. I would play it single player.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3's co-op is exceptional. They did some magic with that one.
I do kind of wish that it was kind of drop in, drop out though, so you don't have to always have everybody available. I mean, I know you don't have to. Like you can still control somebody else's character, but I don't like the thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Berto, would you go with best co-op?
So I only played one co-op game, and that's Mario Wonder. But the one that I chose is Tears of the Kingdom.
That's a co-op game?
No.
No, it's co-op.
Oh.
It's co-op in the sense it's what I'm about to say. So my partner Lauren is very geographically challenged in games. So whenever she reads a map, she like can never figure it out. She gets super frustrated when she's trying to get to a particular spot or find it. So I always have to be like, "All right, no, listen. It's here. Just I'm going to get up to the TV. I'm going to literally point you in the directions you have to go until you like, oh, I know where I'm going now. Okay." Or when she's like was doing a shrine and like she's like, "I can't do it." Throws the controller and just like, I'm gonna wait. And I'm like, I'll just pick up the controller and I would just here you go.
Okay.
Just to like that's my co-op experience in Tears of the Kingdom is helping her when she gets like super frustrated or like can't read the map.
Okay.
So
All right.
Mario Wonders co-op sucks ass. See the top of the podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Ivan, what was your best?
See,
It is a Super Mario.
Okay.
It is Lethal Company. There is no game that I've played other than co-op Phasmophobia that made me feel so immersed and somehow produce so many crazy moments in gameplay that just feel like that you're in a movie. It's insanely crazy how the person Zeekers did the AI for all those creatures, but they feel like creatures. They behave like their own rather than just a complete computer, and it's absolutely amazing. Like I just loved how like every single time I play, it just feels like I'm about to go into a new experience, no matter what. And also, there's like with this game, if you're just playing it by yourself, it's not intended to play by yourself. There's like absolutely no way with how the gameplay was designed. It was 100% intended to be multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like if you try to play solo, you're just playing a worse version of the game. Not only because you're losing out on the experience, but because the gameplay itself is designed in a way where if you die, you lose all your stuff, and
Yeah.
it's way too punishing. So, um, it was never intended. I feel like it was never intended to be solo, even though it can be. And there like I don't know. It's just like for me, the best experience to play is four people, no matter what, no less, no more. Four, I think, is just absolute way to go to play this game, and it just feels like I have so many crazy clips um of me just playing the game, and it's just absurd how it happens like that. There was a time where it was four of us. Three of us were inside the building, one was on the ship. We had no radios because we lost all our money. We just bought flashlights. And so we just looked at a shutter door that you can only open in the ship. And so all three of us were looking at the door, trying to signal the person on the camera saying, "Hey, can you open this door?" But it took them a long time, so we are just kind of waiting there, just talking. And there was two of us in front, right next to the door, and someone behind us. And so we were just talking casually, and then we just hear a tiny crack right behind us. We turn around, and then there's just blood on the ground. And like, we literally just saw him 2 seconds ago when we turned around, and now he's gone.
Yeah. That's my pick too.
One of my favorite moments. I would like, as we're talking, like, or like once Jesus talks, I'm gonna try and see if I can figure out how I can send you guys the exact clip that I experienced. But man, like there's no other co-op experience that I can ever get than from Lethal Company.
Yeah, it's great. It's my pick too. It's just so fun. I have a channel of clips of it because of how much fun we've just had with it. We had I it was me and my friend M, my friend Jerry, and Lou, and we were trying to guide Jerry away, but me and Em were dead, so we couldn't. Actually, no. Em was the one like, oh no, it doesn't matter. Me and someone else were dead. Jerry was going around, and he was walking around, but he was surrounded by a nutcracker, a thumper, and like one other thing. So it was just trying his best to just try to navigate the situation. And he's just trying to run because he's running out of time. He opens the door, walks in, and he blows up because there was a mine at the doorway. And he didn't see it. He was just trying to run away. And we got that one. Another one was I didn't know that the mimics could sprint. So I saw him. I saw him, and I was already like halfway through stats. Oh yeah, it was me. It was us. We were playing. Okay, yeah. And I was trying to. I didn't know they could sprint, and
it was funny because it was Jerry and I forgot who else was playing with us.
I think it was
M. They were just running away past Jesus, saying like, "Run, watch out for Ivan." And then Jesus was so confused because he was just walking, and he kept turning around, but it was like super foggy, so we couldn't see him. So once my model got close to him, he realized it was the mimic, and it was just slowly walking up to him, and then it just started chasing Jesus down all the way through. And Jesus was like, I've never heard Jesus be that terrified, even when both of us were playing Phasmophobia. He's calm. He's insanely calm. He doesn't scream or anything like that. That was the first time I've ever heard him like fully scream.
I was because I was carrying our loot, so the mimic sprints at the same speed as us, but I was carrying the loot, so I was way down, and he caught up to me and got me.
It was amazing. I wish I recorded that, but I did not have my recording software on at the time.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just
crazy how many comedic comedic moments that happen so naturally. Like it's not forced at all. Like you feel like a lot of these are just prepared in time. Like that's how you feel like in a lot of games where people like saying like are trying to replicate something because it looks crazy coincidental, but you can kind of feel like it might be fake. Like unless you play this game yourself, you realize it's just like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because of how superb the AI is.
Mm-hmm. Now, we can go to our most technically impressive, because we just finished Bisco up. Russ, what was your most technically impressive game for this year?
Mine is also Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
I don't think it's like visually technically impressive, but the fact that there's so many different branching conversation paths and stuff, and I know Starian's voice actor at one point said nobody has seen a secret scene that he recorded, and I don't know if that's still the case at this point, but there's like so many different outcomes, so many different conversations, so many ways you can do something. It's like you can never experience the same thing twice.
Yeah,
I just feel like that's really cool for a game.
Yeah, there's a really hidden dialogue where Karlach breaks the fourth wall, but I've only seen one person ever get it.
Mm-hmm. I have seen that one.
It's really, really impressive what they did with that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane, and it might still be tied for what I ended up picking, because it's really, really crazy. Berto, what'd you end up picking?
Tears of the Kingdom, specifically the building.
Okay.
Because I know the game is it's to some people it's technically rough. Like if you activate Ultra Hand, yeah, it don't look that great, but like I never had an issue with like how the game ran, but the way combining things and like the amount of things you can do, the player creativity in that game, for what they made, is very cool. And just I'm pretty sure you can just do whatever the hell you want in that game, and you'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah, I saw someone on New Year's Eve make a 2023 out of trees, and flip a lever, and it made the 3 into a 4.
God,
okay, people can just do whatever they want, and it's my number one. Not my number one. My pick for technically impressive as well. That's what won over Baldur's Gate, or at least tied to it. I was bouncing back and forth. Do I want Baldur's Gate as my number one for it? Do I want Tears of the Kingdom as the number one for it? I don't know what I want. I'm gonna go with Tears of the Kingdom just purely off the thing that it's on the Switch, and I just don't know how they got Ultra Hand and Fuse at the same time to just work. So I wanted to just interject so that I don't have to repeat anything at the very end. Ivan, what did you go with?
That was the same as both of you.
Oh, okay.
Like I remember going for I think when I learned Fuse, like I was just messing around with it so much just to fully understand what I can do with it, and it was so interesting because I was just like, okay, because I went up to an unintended area, that had nothing there, but I assumed it was intended because I was like, you can, if you get all this stuff and format it in a certain way, you can get up there. So I spent like 20 minutes just trying to get up there, just trying to like use things in a certain way so I can actually get up to that platform. But then I found out there was no loot there, and I was like, okay, this is not intended at all. But I got up here somehow after spending so much time. And then all those clips that I saw when the game first came out, it was an absurd amount. Like I remember the craziest one that I saw was someone building like 5 to 7 different waves of jet fighter.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Like one of my favorite things is like the mech fighters that they built.
Yeah.
Like just flying through the air.
Like that was crazy because I thought I thought it was still pretty limited despite everyone's creativity. But like when I saw how massive that jet fighter was, I was like, this is absurd. But obviously it was used because of like the whole battery glitch that happened when the game first came out, where you can just get an obscene amount.
Oh yeah.
But like it was still extremely crazy because I was like, I did not expect people to just legitimately just make stuff out of like Warhammer.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So yeah. Technically Brothers, Tears of the Kingdom. Last award before we go into our top 5 games of the year. Backlog game of 2023. Russ, what'd you choose for your backlog game? And this is actually Berto's suggestion. So Berto, do you want to explain it?
So this is a game that came out in 2023 that you did not get to play in 2023, so you're looking forward to play in 2024.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give my answer later. But I also have a different interpretation of that. But
okay. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So this was Berto's suggestion. I thought it was really, really, really good. So I want to include it. Russ.
Mine is God of War Ragnarok. I was supposed to play it a long time ago. My friend bought the big version, and the one that he got didn't have the game in it for some reason, which I guess was a big problem with that, like the deluxe edition. So he ended up buying it a second time. It was going to give me the code for that one, but didn't. And I just never got it because I was supposed to get it from him, and then I just never bought it. So I'm just waiting for him to give it to me. So yeah, that's mine.
Dude, that
I really want to play it though.
That and the Valhalla DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. Berto.
This is where I would say Baldur's Gate 3, but I don't think I'm ever gonna play that game in my life just because it's so long.
You're gonna do it.
I really want. I spiritually that's the answer I would choose. But the one I chose is Stray Gods, the role-playing musical.
Okay.
If you guys don't know what it is, it's a kind of like visual novel type game where you're making choices, and it's also a musical, so they do have like singing scenes, and during those scenes you actually choose different answers, and it changes how the song, like lyrically and like musically, how the song you're listening to, which I think is super cool. And like I'm a big fan of musicals, so the fact that it's like a choose your own adventure musical is very cool to me. So, and I've heard the story is very good. I think Laura Bailey plays the main character. So yeah, just musical video game. I'm like, listen, I'm in, baby.
Okay.
So that's one that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that with Lauren.
I hadn't heard of that, so that's really, really good.
I think it's on everything now.
Okay, cool. So, I might look into that. Ivan.
So my sorry, give me 1 second. So I misinterpreted it. I assumed it meant like the game that you played in 2023 that took you forever to beat.
Oh, okay.
Now, and so I put Fire Emblem Engage because it took me 8 months to beat the game.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It was absurd because it came out in January and I didn't finish it until like September.
Yeah, I remember that.
No reason why. I was just slacking on the game because I would just play it, and then I wouldn't play it again for 4 months. And then I was like, wait, why don't I play this game more? And then I stopped playing it again. So I just kept going back and forth, and then I finally beat it. Even though there were times where like, is the game finally over? Please tell me it's over. And then it kept going for like 6 more chapters. But I'll put Baldur's Gate 3 because I held off on buying the game for a while because I didn't want to buy it at that price. And also, like the only clip that I saw was my girlfriend's cousin being like, "Hey, get Baldur's Gate, and I'm gonna convince you." And they showed me the squirrel clip. That's pretty funny. And then I was like, okay, if this is gonna be D&D, I don't know if I can be ready for a campaign right now because that's gonna take up so much of my time, and I need to beat through so many games. And that was actually during a time where I had engaged to still beat. So I was like, I need to beat some games first. Let me get this over with, and then I'll move on to Baldur's Gate. But I think as time went on, I'm just like, I really should just play it, and so I'm probably gonna buy it later this year. I hope there's gonna be a discount.
Okay.
You missed the $8 discount they did. It was so good.
Really?
They know what they have.
Yeah, they
I
know.
saw that discount. I was like,
I don't know how long we have to wait for a good discount on that game because that's also why I'm waiting on that game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know it's worth the $60, but right now I've bought so many games, and there's still so many games I want to buy that are about that same price. I'm like, I don't know what I need to hold off.
Okay.
Like it's specifically because of Persona 3 Reloaded costing $200 because I want to get the collectors. I'm just like, that's a lot of my money. I need to hold off on some games.
Okay. Totally understandable.
And then my honorable mention, I've played a few hours of it, but I really want to try and beat Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
Like, I've only gotten like 3 abilities of the Sheikah Slate.
Gotcha.
Which is unfortunate because I want to keep playing the game more, but I was like, I need to be engaged first. I was like, okay, I beat engaged. Let me beat Rain Code first, and then I'll move on to Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay. At least you got a plan.
Also a very long game.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's because I've just been putting in the backlog for so long, and I just need to set myself and just beat these games.
For sure.
And so far, I am on chapter 3 of Rain Code. I don't know how long that'll take. I heard there was 5, but I don't know.
Okay. And my backlog game of 2023 was Alan Wake 2, and then I started it. So I'm already doing that.
Proud of you.
So I'm an hour into it. Really like that hour that I plays. I'll probably play more. If not tonight, then definitely tomorrow. So my runner-up is Sea of Stars. I'm waiting for a physical on that one because that's
another one
is confirmed. So I do really want to play Sea of Stars. It looks really great. So I'm looking forward to
on Game Pass, right?
Yes, yeah, it's on Game Pass. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that one. And now we can move on to our final section, which is the top 5 games of the year. How this is gonna work? This can be any games that we played for the first time this year. I left it up to the discretion of everyone here if they wanted to just stick with 2023 games or if they wanted to just go with whatever was in their backlog. I'm going with 2023 games. We'll find out as it goes on with other people, and we'll all share number 5s on number 4s, so on and so forth. We'll engage in discussion if there's any discussion to be had, and we'll save bigger discussions if anyone else has it higher on their list. So, we'll go. Russ, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Okay.
I really like that game. I take it nobody else had it?
No, I want to play it. It's another one that's on my list of backlog games to play.
The music was really good. I think personally, I think the music in Jet Set Radio Future was better, but I still really like the music. It very much felt like a new Jet Set game. It felt weird to me to be able to use other things that weren't skates, like the bike and the skateboard, but I ended up liking the skateboard the most out of all of them.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of fun. I felt like there wasn't too much to do. I beat it, I want to say, in like 2 days. It was pretty short. I think the story was 5 hours, if I remember right. I want more of it, and I think that there was something that got released afterwards, but I think it was just like extra characters. I don't think it was more story or anything.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But I'm excited to see that there's a new Jet Set coming, so I'll get to scratch that itch again.
I think that one's gonna be open world, too. So, yeah, that okay. Bomber Set, that's a good pick. I do want to play that as well. So, all right, cool. Berto, what was your number 5?
My number 4 is Resident Evil 4 Remake. Or 5.
Okay.
5.
Okay.
I saw Resident Evil 4 and I said my number 4.
Okay.
But yes.
All right, for remake. Okay. Cool.
Anyone have it higher on the list? No.
I do have it higher.
Okay. So
we'll hold on that.
Okay. Cool. Ivan.
I don't know if this is cheating or not, but half of my games on the top 5 list, I still haven't beaten yet.
That's fine.
That's fine. It doesn't matter.
These will be so much higher once I beat them, but for now they're just gonna be where they're at.
Okay.
For my number 5 is Tears of the Kingdom.
Cool. I have it higher.
Yeah, I have it higher. And I assume it's because you're only like 5 hours.
Probably, yeah, that makes sense.
3 hours in.
Okay. But it's already,
he said he only has the three beginning things. He's still on the first island.
Yeah.
I'm still on the first island. It's because I don't know what happened. I got lost in the snow on regards to where I need to go, and then I found the direction, and I got to the new area where I can get the ability. Then I stopped playing, and it's because I was like, okay, I need to beat Engage first instead of moving on to Tears of the Kingdom, because I know once I play this game, I'm gonna go off because that's what I did with Breath of the Wild.
Okay. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is awesome. We'll talk more about it later, definitely.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's on my number 5 just because I only have 3 hours in. But so far, it's been amazing.
Hey, it's on the list, so
yeah,
that's how good it is. Only 3 hours played. It's on the list.
Yeah. All right. Mine number 5. I got Pikmin 4 at my number 5. I love this game. I played the whole series starting in September. I finished Pikmin 4 I took a break between 3 and 4. I finished 4 in the beginning of December, and it's a phenomenal game. This game does not need to be played in the whole series in order. Really doesn't have to. But I had a much better understanding of Pikmin 4 because of it, like the gameplay already. It takes the best aspects of every game. I assume no one else has this on their list.
No.
Okay, it takes the best aspects of all the games before it, and it's just great. I highly recommend it to everyone to give it a shot, even if you haven't played 1 through 3. If you want to play 1 through 3, you guys can. Those are also great games, but 4 is... I think 4 is the best one out of them.
I've been tempted to play Pikmin, but I don't want to play it on re-releases. I want to play it on the original hardware, but those are expensive.
It's also gonna be tough to play.
Pikmin 1 and 2.
I think
Pikmin 3, it's so hard to find.
Yeah, Pikmin 3 is the definitive way. I know you want to play an original hardware. The definitive way is on the Switch because it keeps the Wii's motion controls. So that would probably be the best way to play it and the easiest. But I get the feeling of wanting to play it on original hardware. It is going to be really tough to find though.
Yeah, so that's probably going to be a later goal. But if I ever get it as a gift, I'll just probably play it right then and there. So I wouldn't care. I'll just collect it as I go on. But at the moment, I'm going to hold off on Pikmin.
And I was wrestling between 3 different games for my number 5 spot. Pikmin 4 just ended up beating it out. So
yeah, that was the same for me. I mean, an honorable mention that I wanted to mention was Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh, because that was the first time. Okay, cool.
So if it wasn't Tears of the Kingdom, it would probably be that for number 5.
Okay. Now we can go number 4. Russ, what's your number 4?
Before I do that, I wanted to say that Pikmin 4 was like so close to being my backlog game.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Oh man, it's so good. Look at Ochi. Ochi's a baby.
I am so excited to play that game.
Yeah, I think you'll really like it.
Mm-hmm. But my number 4 is Metroid Prime Remaster.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Anybody else have that one?
No, so feel free.
Yeah. So that was the first Metroid game I've ever played, and I really liked it. And then playing it again, it like rekindled my like for the Prime games, I guess. I've only ever played the first Metroid Prime, if I'm being honest. I own all of them, but I've only ever played the first one. And it felt so good on the Switch. I thought the controls were really good. I think they were better than the Wii version because I kind of thought like the point to aim was kind of wonky. It felt good to be able to use a Pro controller, but that game was just so fun. The music was good. I thought it looked really nice. I was kind of sad when it was over, and I almost played it again right afterwards, but I have other things to play.
Yeah, it's been it kind of teeters the line of remake because the every asset is basically different. It's so it obviously took the same base game, but it feels like they remade every asset of the game. It looks incredible. It's one of the Switch's best looking games.
I would agree.
Yeah. So yeah, Remastered is a good one. I didn't get to fully play it. I only played a little bit of it. I only played the demo actually, but I have it. I have it right there. I managed to get a physical copy. I know that one was really tough to find physically at first. So.
I missed out on it originally, and then I got lucky when they relaunched it, and I got one.
Did you get one, Berto?
Yeah, I have it as well.
Okay,
but
cool.
I haven't gotten around to playing it.
Okay, for sure. Okay, what was your number 4 now? What's your actual number 4?
I feel like someone else is gonna have this higher on the list, but Hi-Fi Rush is my number 4.
I have it higher.
Okay.
I figured, Russ.
Okay. All right. So we'll save Hi-Fi Rush for later then. Okay. Ivan.
So my number 4 is Neon White. I don't know if anyone else has this higher.
I played it, but it's not on my list.
Jesus.
No, and I played it first this year, but I didn't want to include it. But feel free to talk about it. I didn't know you had started it. Actually, yeah, I didn't know you had started it because I know Diana talked to me about Final Fantasy, but you hadn't mentioned it, so I didn't know.
And that is fair. So I started playing it, I think, a few days after you gave me the gift, which again, thank you so much because it's actually super cool. It could have been higher. I just don't like the story at all. The dialogue's very cringe.
It is.
But I absolutely love the gameplay so much. Like, because literally just like what you said, like it's a speedrunning game, it's a card game, and it's a platformer. All of it is just so fun, and it's always interesting to see the times that you have, and then compared to the times that I have. So far I've beaten you in every single one, but that's just because you just gave up on getting the ace medals.
Yeah, no, I only played through them once.
Like I replayed a lot of those levels just to get a better time, and I always loved it because I speedran a lot before COVID, and so it was just so satisfying to get a better time. And I was like, I know I can do better. I know I can play this better. And then I figure out a new strat, and then I go on. I was like, I just try to execute it the best, and it's just like
it's very fun. It's very addicting.
It's a very addicting game. I think I got halfway into the game. I don't know how many missions there are, but I'm on like mission 6. I played through missions 1 through 3 in like 10 hours, just because I was just trying to get better times.
No, yeah, it's very addicting, that one. I was I forgot there was something coming out soon after, so at first I was trying to just get the ace ones, and then I was running out. I forgot when I was playing it, what exactly was coming out. I think it was Spider-Man 2 actually, and I was like, I know this is a short game. I'm just gonna beat the game. I'm 100% it and do all the gifts stuff, but I'm not gonna try and get better times.
I want to get 100% too. And I'm also very tempted to get 100% on getting the dev times as well.
Oh, okay.
Those are so hard, but they're so fun. I also just love how in the game, like, it's all intentional. Like, if you want to get a fast time, they tell you which ways they do it, and so it's like not until you get the gold medal or like level 4 of like the level, they tell you a path that you can go to cut down time, and I find that amazing.
Yeah,
because you can either figure it out yourself, or they can tell you, hey, try this path out, see how much faster you can go. And even like it's just so satisfying to see you're like rank 10,000, and then I do one run just following this strat, and it's like next thing you know I'm like top 500. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's
so satisfying.
It's very satisfying. Yeah, I think
go ahead.
You need to get all the gifts for the ending though, like for the actual ending.
That's the gifts are really easy.
Yeah, the gifts are easy.
The gifts are really easy. The gameplay is just so fun.
Did you have you done the gift levels?
Yes.
Have you done the purple the third one or something? The third purple level? It's
yes.
like it's a spiky elevator. Did
one
you?
where you have to time at which point you have to break down all, because they give you a sign that tells you what elevation you're at, like level
Yeah.
24, 23, 22. You have to stop at a certain point, because if you just spam all the way through, you just die.
Did you
Because
die? Did that happen to you?
Yes.
Did,
Yeah.
wait, did you get tricked at the very end?
What do you mean?
So at the very end,
When it
you
went
don't
to
die.
negative numbers,
Yeah.
I had a feeling. I thought it was gonna stop at like 1, but then I
Uh-huh.
kept going. I was like, okay, 0. I was like, okay, wait, negative floor -1. I was just like going really slowly. I was just like, where is the entrance at? And then once I beat it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna replay this, try and figure out what elevation I need to stop at. Then I'll go down, and I got a good
Okay.
time for it.
But
But that was
you didn't get tricked the first time?
the at the end of the level.
Yeah.
No, but
Okay.
the first elevation, I got tricked. The second elevation, where where it's repeatedly spammed the number 13.
Okay. If
Like, go ahead.
if you get tricked at the very end, I got tricked at the very end because it was my first time. It was my first attempt. The first time I played it, I got tricked. The second time I played it, I got to the very end, but I got tricked at the very end because I didn't know that was going to the negatives. If you don't die, there's a platform and there's a trophy that pops up that calls you stupid.
Really? I gotta go get that trophy now.
It's a trophy that calls you stupid, and if you turn around, the platform that you're on is called Idiot Island.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
It's really funny. Marissa was watching me play it, and she saw it. And she started cackling. It was hilarious. But yeah, it's awesome.
I need to get that trophy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one, like, I was so confused because again there was just one platform where it was just one floor 15, floor 14, floor 13, floor 13, floor 13, floor 13. So I just kept spamming through it, and then I just fell all the way down to the pit.
Yeah, it's a really good game. I highly recommend it. I'm glad to hear that you've been playing. You've been enjoying it.
It's a very fun game, but the writing could be so much better.
It is cringy. Um, my number 4, also Hi-Fi Rush, Berto. So I will save it for when we get to Russ. So Russ, what was your number 3?
My number 3 is Resident Evil 4's remaster.
Okay, so we can talk about it now, unless anyone else has it higher, but I'm pretty sure Berto, you already gave it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's not in my top 5, unfortunately. So all right, let's talk about Resident Evil 4 remake. Let's go. Okay.
Went into it kind of expecting it to be like the same game, just prettier, and it's absolutely not. It's like a totally different game. It is so pretty, and I am so happy they cut the one boss fight out of it. I hated that boss fight in the original 4. It almost made me quit the game, and I was dreading the whole time playing this one, getting to that fight, and then when it never happened, I'm like, oh, that's nice. But I thought the combat felt really good. I liked that the ammo was a little more abundant, it felt like. I didn't have as much of an issue as I did in the original 4, where I had to rely on my knife a lot. I also liked the parry. I thought that was a nice feature that they added.
Playing the chainsaw.
The parry was very cool.
Yeah. Very, very good.
Yeah, just the mechanical upgrades to it were just so good. Because I love the original game and I played that one so much, and it still feels good to play now. But then you play the new one, it's like, oh, this is a current gen Resident Evil 4. Okay, I see what's going on. But yeah, it was just very good. The updated character models, like everyone's just so hot.
Yeah,
everyone's hot.
Yeah, everyone is hot.
Even Krauser's like weirdly hot.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
the only one I don't like that because I was so attached to was my boy Ramon. My boy Ramon. What they do to my boy Ramon though? I miss that's the only model that I'm like, you could just put the old like crappy PS2 GameCube model in there and I will be fine.
And you'd have been fine with it.
That's how I felt about Salazar. I didn't like the new Salazar model.
I don't like. Yeah, it's somewhat the redesign too. It just wasn't good, in my opinion.
Resident Evil 4 does the thing where it makes it its own. It remakes the game obviously, but it turns it into its own thing. It's not a replacement of it. It's its own thing. And it just does a really great job at modernizing the game, especially because I I think Resident Evil 4 is a lot outdated, especially with its controls, and it's very hard for me to go to it with a lot of its quality of life. So.
Yeah,
I think after playing the remake, I won't be able to go back to the old one.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to go back.
Yeah, it's very good.
I've been very tempted to buy. Like, there have been multiple chances where I've debated on buying Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube or the PS2, because like the PS2 version is like $15, the GameCube's like 35, but I don't know which edition to play.
Listen, if you're gonna buy an old version, you're gonna buy the Wii version because that's the only one that matters.
the Wii version's the probably the best.
That is the definitive one.
Actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, pointer controls are so good for that game.
I will say that if I were to ever, because I can't play it on current gen consoles, if I were to go back and play Resident Evil 4, it would have to be on the Wii.
Yeah, the Wii version is very good.
The only time I remember it was because of Jesus lending me the copy of Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube, and I was like, I hate the controls. The camera, the way you control the camera in the GameCube
bad.
is terrible.
It's bad. That game was really bad.
Yeah.
But
well, I was debating to get it on the GameCube, but I was like, okay, is the PlayStation 2 version better? I didn't even know there was a Wii version.
Yeah, the Wii version is the best one.
The Wii version is the definitive one, unless you want like HD graphics.
Yeah.
I think you could do PlayStation Move on the PlayStation version, like the 3.
I have no idea.
I played the PlayStation 4 version and I still hated it.
Yeah, PS4
like
version.
The remake. I don't even know if it was a remake. I don't know if it was.
It's Resident Evil 4 HD.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil 4. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many Resident Evil 4s.
Yeah.
It's very good. I have to buy the DLC.
Okay. Berto, did you say you didn't say your number?
No, now it's my number 3.
Yeah. Okay.
If anyone on it here has this game any higher, I don't listen. Props to you, Armored Core 6.
No. Okay.
I didn't think so, but yeah, Armored Core 6 is just such a fun mech action game. Like, it feels like I'm just playing like a really cool Gundam fight, or like some weird fights in Gurren Lagann, just how like anime it gets, I guess.
Yeah.
Just hearing like the music swell and like the other pilots like yelling banter back at you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll never beat me, dog. Like it just strikes my particular like things that I like yo, it's anime, it's Gundam, it's robots, I'm in. Like that's me.
Yeah.
So it just strikes like the right mix, and like the combat just feels so good. And there's so many different builds you can do. The customizability of like painting your mech. Like you can make your little boy shine so bright and look so pretty, or you can make that little mother look so grimy, like he's just been crawling around in all the dirt and grime. He's never seen a mech repair shop in his whole life. It's so fun, and it's one of the few games that I actually went and did all of the endings for. Like you have to do 3 at minimum 3 runs to get the true final ending, and I did them all. And I didn't have an issue like repeating missions. Like the game is just so much fun. And also some of the missions throughout the story will change depending on what playthrough you're on.
Oh,
so, like
okay.
There's one that like I went into a boss fight, and then like a second boss character shows up. I'm like, oh, I wasn't ready for that. No, I thought it was just gonna be the same guy that I've beaten like 3 times already. But yeah, and then some of the boss fights are very challenging. Like this is a From Software game. So there are some you better know how to play this game boss fights.
Yeah.
And getting to the point where I could beat them easier, there are still some that even on every playthrough I just was always hitting the wall just because they're that hard. But
okay.
Getting to like the 3rd cycle and like beating Balteus like he's nothing was like so good. It just feels so good.
Nice.
But yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Play Armored Core 6. Very good.
Awesome. Ivan, number 3.
I actually decided to switch this around a little bit after thinking about more, and so my number 3 is gonna be Fire Emblem Engage. Does anyone else have that higher?
No.
Okay, so I put this here. It was originally number 2, but I was just thinking more, and I loved the new style that they did because the only other time that I played the triangle system in Fire Emblem was Fire Emblem Heroes for the phone. Um, and I thought that was all right. I thought it was okay. I wasn't really too into it, especially when I got to the harder levels. I was just like, I kind of just give up. But it wasn't until Three Houses where I got super into Fire Emblem and then playing Engage. I'm like, this is probably the most compact gameplay, but also the most beginner friendly. Um, just because of how everything was. Like I just love a lot of their mechanics. The pairing mechanics. Um, at first, it took me a while to fully understand how to do classes because I was so used to Three Houses. But I understood a lot more. I just don't. It's a little with how much content there is. It feels like there's so much and it's over bloated. Like at the times, I just did not care about the rings unless it was unless it was like what are they called again? Engage rings
Oh,
rather
okay.
than the simple ones.
Yeah.
Like I thought I gave up on that system. I wish the multiplayer was also a little bit better because I was hoping it'd be like two people, like you and someone else, working on the map at the same time. But it's like it's a baton pass, and it's like you can't even just do it with two people. It has to be with other people online. And I'm like, I don't want
Oh.
to wait so long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not sure if you tried that out,
I did
but
not.
that was me and my friend were a little disappointed because we were hoping we'd be able to go back and forth just
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, but it was here's my one turn of the map, and that's it. I pass it on to my friend who has the code. He does one turn, and that's it. And then he can't even pass it back to me. He has to send it to someone else, either a friend or someone just randomly online.
Okay.
Um, and it was only just us two playing at the time, so it's like we couldn't beat a 5 turn map with just the two of us.
Okay. Yeah, I never tried the
So
multiplayer on that.
that was a little unfortunate, but I thoroughly enjoyed all the gameplay and all the like. Despite me not liking the story, I really liked how they did some of the characters in regards to their supports.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my favorite was Lapis because it was just it, like just her character. I just always thought was even though again it was one dimensional. I thought if it had like the most rich story for characters, along with Yunaka and what was his name? Starts with a D. Uh,
That.
from Brodia,
Yeah.
supposed to be the head. Um,
Dio something. I don't know.
I forgot.
I know,
Uh,
I know who you're talking about.
Iman,
I know who you're
Iman
talking about.
probably I think. Um, but yeah, I had a blast with the gameplay itself.
Okay.
And I would very much want to replay it back again.
Okay. For sure. My number 3, Spider-Man 2. Assume no one else has it higher. There's 2 spots left. Okay. Yeah. Spider-Man 2 is my number 3. I love this game a lot. I love what they did with the writing with Venom and Peter's character. That I have some gripes with it, but overall in its entirety package, it's just really good. It's a really really good feeling game too, especially with the improvements they did with the swinging. Like I didn't know how much they could improve it because the swinging in the first game and Miles Morales were already really good, but they did it. They improved it even more past that, especially with the wings. Excuse me. Uh, and it was just really really well done. The side content in it, some of it can get really repetitive, but I liked the majority of it. I thought the ending struck really well, and I'm really excited to see what the third game entails because if people were paying attention to the post credit scene, I'll know that things are gonna get really interesting, really interesting with that third game. So I'm really really excited to see what's next. And of course, most people already know Spider-Man's my favorite hero, and I love his comics. So seeing a lot of the stuff was really well developed. And also, Mysterio is my favorite villain. He's in here. He's relegated to side stuff, and he's relegated to Miles. But I still think Mysterio was really well done, and the stuff with him was really cool. So
Yeah, I really like Spider-Man too. If this was a top 10, it would have been on my
it-
top 10.
okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
It would have been so
It's
hard to do a top 10. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so Spider-Man 2 is awesome.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is very good. Listen, when you fight Venom at the end, he does the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? He does the thing, and I was like, I did not expect you to do the thing. Thank you. Thank you, developers, for doing the thing.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of really cool stuff that I just didn't expect. That I won't mention purely for the sake of it, but there's also the hints with the side stuff with like the red flame stuff and how that ends. Like
how that ends, and then also who Miles' mom was dating, and the person
that's gonna be
there's so much cool stuff for like the next either DLC or like the full next game. Like they have so many cool story threads lined up.
Yeah.
That I'm very excited to see how they pay them off and whatever they do next in the Spider-Man.
Yeah. And I'm not going to talk about it purely because it will slow things down. If people want to find it, they can find it. Insomniac's slate for until 2030 leaked, or at least the planned slate had leaked. There is a game between Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 planned. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with that. That's not one that I was particularly looking forward to, but I know a lot of people were asking for it. So, and if you guys haven't seen it, we can talk about it later. But yeah, so there's stuff going on. I'm very excited, and we'll see. So number 2 for us, what would you have for number 2?
That's where Hi-Fi Rush is.
Okay. I was gonna say there's only one game that's gonna be number 1 for this man. Yeah. So it's gotta be Hi-Fi Rush number 2.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about it, Russ. What's up?
So it was, I don't know if it was on the episode last time or if it was after. Berto mentioned that Hi-Fi Rush is like Devil May Cry meets a rhythm game. And as soon as I got off the call, I downloaded it and started it.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was last time.
That's awesome.
So the Devil May Cry Bayonetta style is like my all-time favorite genre of game. And rhythm is like right up there with one of my favorite genres. So when I found out it was like the same thing in one, I had to play it and I loved it. I love the music. The combat felt super good. I liked all of the characters. I thought the boss fights were fun, how they were all like the same kind of thing but different, except for I just had her name. The one that turns good.
Corsica.
Yeah. Her boss fight was my favorite
Corsica.
one.
Yeah, Corsica's awesome. Corsica's awesome.
We originally had best villain as one of the categories, and I had her as my villain.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't want to. I was gonna put her as my best character, but Karlach and Corsica was technically a villain.
Okay.
But I liked the boss fight, how it was just like the button presses instead of an actual fight. I thought it was cool how it like so drastically changed for that one fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's anything negative I could say about that game. That game was my number 1 for a few days, and I'm thinking about it, and my number 1 still beats it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Go ahead, Berto.
I was say I feel bad putting it so low on the list because but my top 3, honestly, my top 4 could all be number 1. Yeah. Resident Evil 4, as much as I love Resident Evil 4, I couldn't put it at number 1, but like my 1 through 4 could, on any other day, I could put one of them as like my top game.
Yeah.
And like Hi-Fi Rush is so good. Yeah. The fact that it was just a shadow drop out of nowhere, and it's like a totally different game from what Tango Gameworks has made.
And they struck it so well.
Yeah.
So like, fucking well.
Rhythm games is one of my favorite genres, especially like weird like Space Channel 5, Parappa the Rapper, Phantom Thief, Rhythm Thief. Guitaru Man, like those like old like PS2 Dreamcast games that like it's a weird rhythm game with a crazy story that makes no sense, like someone on acid made the story. Those are like the games that I miss so much, and the fact that this is like it's not the same as that, but it's like it's very much like a PS2 platformer, but also like the Devil May Cry, like that was also a PS2 game, so like it has that like pedigree of like the genre already, so that unless it was a shitty game, I was predestined to love this game. Like it's just
I love this game. I fell in love with it as soon as I saw it drop, and I was like, oh my god, I need to play this. I need to get on my Xbox and play this right now. And I remember, so it was 2 podcasts ago, Russ, or a few podcasts ago, that I had brought it up. I was like, Russ, you need to play it. I want you to play it before the end of the year. And then last one was the one where Berto chimed in as well, and he was like, "Hey, don't worry, cry, we're them." And then you played it. It makes me really happy how much you enjoyed it, because it's incredible.
It's funny how I only played that game 2 weeks ago, I think, and it's already my number 2 on my list of the best games I played this year.
Yeah, it's that good. It's so good. And oh my god, that final boss was hard. I struggled on that final boss.
I did too.
Yeah,
I started on that final boss. It was just so good. I like every time I think about it and I talk about it with people, I want to replay it. It's really good.
And I didn't know that the roguelike mode was a DLC, because by the time I played it, was just in it. Was the beat one where it gets faster also a DLC?
I think that was also DLC.
Yeah.
I tried both. I didn't care for the roguelike one that much, but the beat one, that one was very fun to me. So I don't know if either of you played it.
I have not.
So you go. It's like in Devil May Cry. It's like the Demon Slayer mode or whatever it's called, where it's like just a bunch of battles. And after you kill a certain number, the bar will fill up at the bottom, and then you'll fight like a boss, not a boss, but like the mini bosses. And then when you kill them, the BPMs will go up by like 10 or 15, so it'll get faster. And eventually I think it starts at 150 and goes to 200 at the end. But by the time it's at the end, the fights are so fast and they feel so good. I thought that was so much fun.
Nice. Yeah, this seems a gem, and I'm glad we waited this long to talk about it, because I know, like, for me and Berto, it was the number 4 for both of us, but like Berto said, it could have been much higher on any other day. So, which is great. Ivan, what's your number?
No, I was like, I need to play that game.
Oh yeah.
You already know I love rhythm games. Like, I try to do the hardest difficulty on the Persona dancing games all the time. Like, I have, like, even though I don't like the story at all for dancing, I had to go through all of it so I can get the all night mode on my PlayStation, because I only have it on my Vita. And then actually just this year, I decided to collect a lot more things for rhythm games. Like, Jesus helped me get Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix with a dance pad right over there. And also I got this year it was the game itself was brand new, as well as the guitar, but the box itself was in bad condition, but it's still pretty damn good. And so I
Yeah.
was just gonna enjoy playing all those Guitar Hero games again. Even though I can't play on the hardest difficulty, it's just I can't with my, like, it's so hard. It cramps up my fingers too much for a rhythm game. And I've been wanting to play Rhythm Heaven too, and like on the Wii, but that's also hard to collect. But I've been wanting to give Hi-Fi Rush a chance for a while, because I heard it was just very good in regards to just it being a rhythm game.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I'm sure I'd probably love it as well.
And I mean, if you suck at rhythm games, you can still play like a normal Bayonetta type game. It's just you won't get as good of a grade.
Yeah, probably gonna be a game I will play later this year if I ever get the game.
For sure. So, what is your number 2?
My number two,
wait, no.
It's fine. You can keep going with that, and we'll go back to me.
Okay.
Are you sure? I can.
No, go. It's fine.
Okay. My number 2 is Raincode. That's what I decided to switch out for Fire Emblem Engage.
Okay.
Because I realized more and more, I actually really love the gameplay and the story for Raincode. Just with how Danganronpa like it is, but also just being completely brand new. I love the game. Like, the puzzles, each chapter is so damn complex. I love it so much. Because it's just like, it's just Spike Chunsoft, like, always gets that good feel for solving puzzles and mysteries, and I love it so much. That's why once I beat Raincode, I'm gonna move on to Nirvana Intervention. I still haven't beaten that.
Hell yeah.
That's been on a back burner for a while, but I really want to play that because me and my friend loved the first AI Somnium Files. Even though like it was like very wacky, we loved the story and the branching off. and just because it was inspired, like not inspired, but like from the same creator as the Zero Escape series. But I love the gameplay here. At first, it was very, very simple, but that's just how it is for all Danganronpas, where all the gameplay is very simple, but it's just to help introduce it to you. And then later on in the chapters, it gets a lot more challenging, and just like it's crazy how much like reaching logic you have to do to solve these mysteries. Like
Yeah.
there have been like I've been stuck in this game so much more than I did in the Danganronpa series.
Yeah,
And
it's
just
tough. There's some tough
like
ones.
the first chapter I think was the hardest for me so far. The second one not so bad, but the first one with those cases,
Mm-hmm.
what was it? It was how it was set up that just threw me off so badly. And if it wasn't for my friend that was right there who was also trying to solve it with me, I would have been on there for like another good 10 minutes
Okay.
just trying to figure out the logic to it. But it's really good. I love the characters. It sucks that like graphically it's limited because of the hardware.
Yeah.
It sucks that it's at 30 FPS because if I'm exploring around and if it's at 60 and it doesn't look all grainy, it look amazing.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time I played it, Shinigami looked like a freaking Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon ghost
Yeah.
because of how they did the model. I was like, I'm pretty sure they just extracted that from there. I
Yeah.
guarantee because everything else looked like a Switch game except for that model.
Except for the Shinigami model. The Shinigami model is funny. I think they did it on purpose. It's just really, really funny
I
how they did
also
it.
love how the expression that Shinigami does in ghost form, it also aligns with the UI. So it's like if Shinigami's upside down, then they're just doing their movement upside down as well, rather
Mm-hmm.
than just it's so nice because I was worried in a 3D world from a Danganronpa creator, it'd be like Ultra Viscera Girls, and I did not like the 3D world in that at all.
Yeah.
It was just so bad, but they actually gave so much life into these 3D models, and I
Yeah.
love it so much, and the environment as well. The one gripe that I have though, all the side quests.
Yeah.
They're
I didn't do
not
them.
interesting at all.
I didn't do them.
They're not interesting at all.
They're just there. They're just there. They're
They're
there
just
to exist to pad the game. I
the
didn't.
thing.
I
The
did
thing that
one.
the thing that makes it so unfortunate is if they just added a puzzle, a simple puzzle, to any one of those requests, it'd be worth because love solving puzzles. So if I could just if each request was like try to solve a tiny little mystery that you couldn't figure out easily, perfect. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
but they're all fetch
It's
quests.
really they're all fast quests.
Yeah.
Like all of them are really pointless. There's only of like the 10, 15 different requests, there was only actually one interesting one, which was about um one of the guy like some random pedestrian asking for help in regards to like getting their girlfriend an umbrella gift.
Mm-hmm.
But then you later figure out that the girlfriend's dead and his way of coping is just to buy multiple umbrellas for her dead girlfriend. I was like, that is crazy. That was the only one that actually interested me though. Everything else was just like, help me out, take me over here. Okay. Talk to this person. Okay.
Keep me
Come back
updated.
and report it.
Keep me updated as you get through it, because there's gonna be some stuff that's gonna fuck with you. I already know. I already know there's gonna be some stuff that's gonna trip you up.
So
Not
that's
like
my
not like trip you up like plot twist wise. It's gonna be really cool to see what you think.
that's just my only gripe is just the requests feel pointless. There's no gameplay to them. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally just a fetch quest, walk back and forth, and you just get XP. Also, the skill tree, I feel like it could have been expanded way more.
Yeah, I agree.
All the abilities that they have just feel so much more limited compared to what Danganronpa offered.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else they can add, but like it's just how it is. So those are my two big gripes. But everything else, art, OST, gameplay, the characters, all lovely. I love it
Okay.
so much. Brodo, you need to play it.
Right.
I'll get to it. It's in the house.
Yeah, it's in there.
In the
It's
house with me.
there. It's watching you. It's creeping up right behind you.
It's just so satisfying that Spike Chunsoft was just like, okay, we're done with Danganronpa and Zero Escape Series. We're gonna still have those two creators create their own separate game, AI Somnium File and Raincode, and they're just like they're like a great way to just get that same feeling that you were hoping for before.
Yeah. So, what was your number two, Berto?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay. So
no one has that number one.
I do. So
Okay, I was gonna say,
He
only one
spoiled
person would have it at
earlier.
number one.
You
yeah.
spoiled earlier.
So we'll talk about it in a little bit.
I think you know what that makes my number one.
Yeah, I do. I do. I know those. I knew it was gonna be between those two because I knew you were wrestling which one it was gonna be. So my number 2 is Baldur's Gate 3, which we'll throw it to you, Russ. Since Russ, what's
your number one?
Russ, what's your number
I wonder
one?
what it is. It's Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Like I've mentioned like a million times, that game was just so fun. I've double dipped on it already. I think I'm at like 600 hours, 500 hours at this point, and I have not beaten it yet.
Yeah.
I just keep going back and started new characters, or I abandoned my first one that I started because I screwed it up.
Mm-hmm.
But it just I just don't think I can say enough good things about it. And I'm pretty new to D&D too. I only first started playing like the actual game last year.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good way to get somebody into D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's basically just playing D&D just digitally, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've said almost everything that I could from this episode and last episode about Baldur's Gate. So
yeah,
that's what I was hoping for the most with Baldur's Gate, because I remember playing D&D multiple times in person and it just never clicked with me because it's so hard for me to fully imagine what's going on.
It takes a lot of imagination and you need a really good DM, and like everyone needs to be into it for it to work. Because because even if one person's not into it, the whole experience can just get a little ruined. I think I agree, Russ. Like Baldur's Gate is a great introduction to D&D, and I, to an extent, if there are more games like it's a big ask. It would make a lot more people more into D&D because you get that instant gratification of seeing the characters and the world and stuff. But they did such a good job at making the overarching story, but with so many different branching paths, and the characters are phenomenal, and it's just like you said, there's too much good to say about it, and
the AAA game studios cry.
It there's some possibilities, and everything matters to what you choose as your class. Like your class, you get different dialogue options based off of it too.
Yep.
It's cool. And like the talk that we had in Act 2 where you guys tried to find that like the toll keeper and couldn't do it, and I told you that when me and Marissa played, we convinced him to kill himself. And we didn't even have to fight him. We just talked to him. We talked him into killing himself and letting us pass.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, there's so many different things that you can do with it, and I wish you were here last time, Ivan, so we can talk to you, like, to put things into perspective. There's a character, an optional character, that's the same comparison I said last time. There's an optional character that you can meet early on into the game in one of the first towns that you visit. If you tell this character that they would be a great rogue someday.
You told me.
I did tell you?
Yeah, you did tell me.
Okay, yeah.
You can say it though.
Like 80 hours later, that is what they are. That is what that character is. And it's crazy. Like, this was my runner up for best, most technologically impressive, because just I don't know how they managed to do it. It's insane, and it shows how long this game has been in development, and it shows when other AAA developers are now intimidated by Baldur's Gate 3. When there were dev interviews and they said, oh, you guys shouldn't have made that because now people are going to expect more from us. I'm like, what? What kind of dev are you? What are you like? Are you trying to just make garbage? Like, I don't, huh? So it's like, I think it's going to be really, really cool to see how things go in the future with the studio, with Larian and stuff. All right. Well, that's your number one. Russ, do you have any other things you want to say before you're done with it?
The one other thing I was going to add too is that I was disappointed that some things weren't included. like some classes. And when my first campaign, I played as a Twilight Cleric, and that wasn't an option in Baldur's Gate. But there are so many mods for the game on PC that I'm sure there's one that includes it.
Yeah.
Like there's so many mods for new
Probably.
races, new classes, everything. It's like this game's almost infinitely expandable.
Yeah. Mine was a half elf druid for my campaign, my first campaign ever, and that's what I chose in Baldur's Gate. So I was really happy that was there. I love druid.
My favorite class is bard. I'm always half elf bard.
That's what Marissa is. That's what Marissa is.
I don't know why. Like I played 3.5 in like high school, and I picked a half elf bard, and that's just like the class that I fell in love with.
That's just it.
I did do a campaign during the pandemic where I was a half elf fighter, and that was very fun.
Okay. So, I know what your number one is.
Who could guess what my number one is? It is a little indie game by a studio called Remedy, called Alan Wake 2, baby.
Alan Wake 2.
We're back. Alan's back. He's out of the dark place, and he's straight under your television once more after 13 years.
Nice.
But yeah, Alan Wake 2 is so fun. Just every aspect of this game, you can see the progression from past Remedy games, like how the Remedy style has just grown, and they've like really cemented like these are the types of games we make. And like I thought Control was already like, yo, this is like the top. I don't know how they can do anything better than Control. And then I played Alan Wake 2. I was like, holy shit, man. How are they going to beat Alan Wake 2 with the next game? Like the way it plays, the story, the interconnectedness of all the themes, it's just, I don't want to say it's something you don't see, but like you don't see it done a lot in games. And like the marriage of like the live action bits, it never looks hokey or dumb. Like Lauren was watching me play, and she was like, wow, the graphics are really good. And I was like, well, it's because it's live action. She's like, oh, I like couldn't even like tell, like just the way it transitioned from like the in-game graphics to like the live action bits. Like it's a good looking game. It's so fun to play.
That's the best way that they've done it yet, because they included it kind of in the first Alan Wake. I think they included it in one scene. Control, they included a little bit more in there, but it looked a little funky in Control to me. Like the live action bits look a little funky to me in Control, and in Alan Wake 2, it looks really good.
Yeah, I mean Control, it's not really in there that much. As an Alan Wake, they would do it way more in Alan Wake 2.
Yeah,
because it's just usually like I think it's like the phone calls with Trench, which I feel like do look kind of weird because it's just like him like a smoky room, just like, oh, I'm talking about the things in the dark, the oldest house.
Yeah, or the TVs that you find,
or the TVs, yeah. But yeah, it's so good. The story, oh, I love the story so much. Saga's a great character. The like division of like the Alan and Saga sections is such an interesting way to do it, because you can literally play all of Saga's section of the story until there's like the end game, like you have to finish this part, otherwise the story's not going to make any sense as Alan. So you could either play, do one chapter of Saga and one chapter of Alan, which is what I did, or you could play all of Saga's section and then play all of Alan's section. And just the difference in like the gameplay of the two, like not like gameplay, they play the same, but like thematically how they feel different. Because Alan's definitely feels more like you're playing like a Resident Evil 4, like, oh, I'm in like survival horror.
Yeah.
Whereas like I didn't feel that as much in Sagas, and I don't think you're supposed to, but there still is like that element of like horror, because there are a lot of genuine jump scares, and they got me a lot of the time. Like they're scary.
I'm playing Ace Attorney as Saga right now. I'm playing Danganronpa. I'm playing.
Yeah. You're playing some make the red lines go different places.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm still really early on. I just got my first manuscript, but just getting that first manuscript, getting that cutscene, it gave me chills, because especially with the first game, oh my god. And then figuring out who the fat guy is, I won't say much about that, because just hearing about that when we like
no, yeah, the universe that they built in this game, the way they've like retconned, I mean, it started in Control, but like the way they've like changed the universe of Alan Wake and Control to become like one thing is very much in the vein of Alan Wake anyway, of changing of the narrative changing to like change the world.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I'm excited to get more, and I'm definitely gonna update you as I go through it because I want to talk to you about it as I go through it.
It's very good. There's a couple. I can't wait for you to get to two particular sections in the game.
Okay. All right.
They're very good.
I'll give you.
You've seen one of them.
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay.
I think it's like chapter 5 of Alan. You know what I'm talking about though.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it's very good. I love Alan Wake too.
Yep. Ivan, what's your number 1?
No one else has it. It's Lethal Company.
Okay. That makes sense.
No, I had a secret number S class. It was Lethal Company. I've been playing it all this time.
while you've been on call with us.
There have like, again, this year, lots of good games. I wasn't able to play a lot of them, but I've been very tempted to. But this was a game that I accidentally just played, just because I was like, okay, fine, you convinced me because of the price tag, and it's crazy how you can get so much entertainment from this game that is so cheap.
Yep.
Like,
we said so much about it earlier.
The only issue I have with the game is the fact that it's only satisfying to play with 4 people, and I can always get a group of like me and another friend. But it's like, okay, we need 2 more people. Once we get 2 more people,
I've had fun with 3.
I can't have fun with just 3. It's just, it feels the best at 4.
It does. It does feel the best at 4.
That's of my own personal standard. That's not an issue with the game. That's just like, from my best experience, I always love trying to do it with 4, and it's so hard to get 4 people. So that's my only complaint. But that's not really an issue with the game. It's just, if I don't know. It's hard because it's like, I can also say the same thing for New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I always love to play 2 players or at least 3, and I feel like that's the best experience. For 1 player, it's just like, I wouldn't really play New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I just play like the original Mario Bros. On the DS.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, I can't get enough of just watching crazy clips that happen for the Little Company, all the humor that goes on with it, and just with how simple, like, it's crazy how simple of a gameplay task it is, but it still feels so refreshing.
Yeah.
And that's just because, like, me trying to figure out game design and all that stuff. This whole game, all it is just a fetch quest. You go inside, bring it back. But it's like, it doesn't feel like that at all.
Yeah. It's very well done.
It's very well done. I've already went off a lot more in regards to the AI, but the other thing that makes it also feel so refreshing is because it's procedurally generated.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit better, but they did it such a great way where, like, again, every single time you go in, it's always a new experience. And in regards to the spawn rates for all these creatures, it's all never the same. Never ever the same. Phasmophobia, it can get samey after, a lot of hours into the game, but Lethal Company, it just never. And it's also fun because it's just like, the whole gameplay is just getting to the higher quota. That's all it is.
And it's gonna keep getting updated, and as it gets updated, they're gonna add more, and it has potential to get even better.
And the thing that I love the most is the developer. It's 100% in support for mods. If you want to mod the game and make it entertaining, go right ahead. There's even a mod manager for that, and there's so much stuff that you can add into the game that makes it feel even more fresh. And so, whenever you get an update from the developer itself, it feels like it's a mod, but it's official.
I would hope. I've talked about my friend. I would love for them to like add it to Steam Workshop to like get it, like make it even easier. Which, I mean, it's already pretty easy.
If it was like Black Ops 3 Steam Workshop, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Or
that would be the best way.
This one's a little harder to track, but like if he would, because I mean he definitely made a lot of money with it. Like if you would, like some of the like the fire escape, or the mimic, like where it can copy your voice, not copy your voice, but like it records your voice to like repeat later. Those mods, like if he would buy the rights for official use, like that would be awesome.
That would go into more legality in regards to taking someone's actual voice for the purpose of a game. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably more complicated. But even then, with like with the game being out for like the first month, and then he finally gave an update, it's crazy because he added content that I was just like, this is so much more fun. Even though like the Nutcracker very hard, but has like the best weapon,
Yeah.
fucking shotgun, and it'll just make great use of work because you can sell and all that stuff. There's just so many tiny little things that happen in the gameplay, and also it's so interesting that the game has lore.
Yeah.
Like the lore for the game is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
For how simple it is.
No, I agree.
And learning about the creatures, learning about their history, knowing what's going on. It's like I don't know. It's just
Very good.
very good. I'm super happy with it. I cannot wait for more updates. Even though I can update, like even though I can get mods and all that stuff, I love official updates from developers themselves because it's in line with their vision rather than just here's extra stuff they want to do because they know exactly how they want their game to be. And so when I add a lot of stuff, I'll just like this is even better.
Yeah. All right. Talked about earlier. My number one's Tears of the Kingdom. It's
Listen,
magical.
Tears of the Kingdom was my number one until Alan Wake 2 came out, baby.
Yeah.
Like, I beat that game. I was like, God damn it. Tears of the Kingdom, you gotta go down one.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so magical how seamless and the existing world that they managed to change so much too. The story, I know there's complaints with it. It's not the strongest Zelda story, but I still think it's pretty good. And the ending,
especially the climax.
Yeah,
the climax is so good.
The ending to Tears of the Kingdom is one of my favorite video game endings. I think it's my favorite ending to a Zelda game. It's incredible, and
I think so too.
It's jaw dropping. It's beautiful. The whole lead up to it was amazing. The temples, while not as good as the more traditional temples, are getting back on track to that level at least. So I think that the temples are getting close, or getting like are gonna progress to get like where the overworld is gonna be like super open. I think they're gonna get to a point where we'll get traditional Zelda in the temples and we'll get open Zelda in the open world, but they still treaded that line very well. It is not the perfect game. There are complaints, but damn, is it really, really good. The enemies, the first time seeing the hands, seeing the hands go after you,
bro. And then what happens after you beat the hands? Like I was literally playing with Lauren. She had always run away from the hands. I was like, it was the first time I ever saw him. Like, you know what? Let's take this boy out. Let's take this boy out. I beat him. The thing happens. I get up. I'm like, nope. I pause the game. Nope.
No.
I just walk away from the TV. I'm like, I'll be back in a second, but I can't do this right now.
My first time encountering that, or like beating the hands, was at the. I mean, this isn't a spoiler because everyone. It's a Zelda game. You obviously do this at some point, or especially with Breath of the Wild, beforehand. The Great Deku Tree in that area. The first time I beat it was there, so I actually didn't know that it happened every time you beat them.
Oh no!
And so I was just looking at it, and then another time I was in the depths and I found them. I beat them. Like, it's happening every time. Like, oh my god, it's so good. And then like the Lynels, they're so far and few in between, but when they're there, they're a little crazy. The dragons, I don't know if you ever beat them. It's not mandatory.
I beat one.
And then there's the kings. I beat a king. That was terrifying. It's just the bosses themselves were pretty good too. Especially Colgera. It's just the Wind Temple one.
I think Colgera is the strongest boss. Like in terms of like cool, like the coolest one.
Yeah.
Haha.
Tears of the Kingdom, it just made me. I thought I had like 10 hours into it, and I looked at the time and I was like 30 hours, and then I thought I had 30 hours, and I looked at the time it was 50 hours. It's like I played it for so long sessions. It's awesome.
No, yeah, I had like I think like 130 hours by the time I beat it.
Yeah.
It's so good. I didn't think that I could like a Zelda game that's it's a sequel to Breath of the Wild more than Breath of the Wild. Like, oh, listen, they did it once. There's no way I'm gonna like this more. It's gonna be like, oh, this is good, but like you can't capture that same magic, bro. I don't know what crack Nintendo put into this game, but
they captured
that magic is there.
Yeah.
And like I don't like it's just so good.
Yeah. That freedom that they give you to just solve anything. Like I talked to a bunch of people how they solve certain things, and we all did it differently. It's crazy, but
yeah, it's just such a good, well-designed game. It's so fun to explore, and just like see all the new like things that have happened in this world. Because it's like it's also cool that like they don't tell you like this is like 2 years later. It's like indeterminate years later. You figure it out through like the context of like what's happened in the world.
Yeah.
Like so many things have like moved on, like the like Terrytown being like this like brand new little thing, like where it's like fully developed ish.
Yeah.
Like they're helping other towns like build up. Like it's just very cool, like seeing the world progress.
Yeah.
And like grow up and like seeing everything that happens.
And there's so many things that like are optional that are really cool. If you go in Breath of the Wild, you can buy a house. That house is in Tears of the Kingdom. My cousin, my cousin didn't even know that it was there, so he just never went. But when you go there, it's not your stuff that's there. It's different because your save file doesn't carry over, obviously. But the house, it's canon that's your house. It is canon in Tears of the Kingdom that is your house. And I'm not gonna spoil what else is in there, Ivan. But there's
you want to explore that house. There's some cool things in there.
Yeah, it's Link's house, and there's
there's a cool side quest that unlocks with it.
Yeah, you have to explore that area, but you'll. There's implied stuff about that house that I don't want to say much more, just because it's really cool when you get to it and you see like, oh. So yeah, it's really cool. But I'll end it there. We're going long, and I always love doing these. This is awesome. So thank you guys for doing it again with me. Does anyone have any final thoughts before we close off?
Damn, there's some good video games this year.
Yeah.
There's too many video games this year.
23 was insane.
And I'm disappointed in myself for not beating at least 2 of them at the start of this year. And then playing the other ones that I was supposed to.
You'll get there. You got it. Russ, do you have any final finalities about your list or anything you want to mention?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right.
He's just gonna go make another Baldur's Gate 3 character.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, then we'll go let everyone know where everyone can find you. Russ, where can everyone find you at?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Cryoweasel, posting about video games.
Awesome. Berto?
You'll find me on Silly Dial's Twitch channel sometime in the future when we figure out our stream. We're gonna do some co-op games. Probably try to get through like It Takes Two, those.
Oh, please.
Those games. At least once a week.
I'd love to
sometime in the future. So that's at twitch.tv/sillydial.
Yeah, I'd love to see you stream the first chapter of Rain Code, or It Takes Two, or both.
I think it Takes Two is probably one that we'll probably try to beat on stream. I think, unless we like start yelling at each other because we can't work together.
Yeah, I think it does a very good job at. You guys need to rely on each other, but I don't think there's ever anything super frustrating in that game. So I think you'll be
okay.
Fine. Ivan,
you can find me randomly inside the Chao Town whenever everyone's just in a call.
All right, cool. Discord link for that is usually in the description, so I'll probably put that in this one. And obviously, you can find me here at Chowtown. I have a Twitch. It's a little inactive. I usually just do it for reaction events like the Game Awards or something, but I probably won't link that. But it is on my social media, so you guys can find that there. This was episode 2 of the Chao Garden podcast. Next time, we'll back to the regular overlay. Depending on the reception to this overlay, we might stick around with this. Because our Chao are still here, so we'll see depending on the reception of it. But the intent is to go back to the other overlay where it's just our Chao. And we put some other stuff in there where in the works. But next time, I'll think of a topic. It'll probably be whatever news is up, and I'll think of something for it. But this was episode 2. It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for being a part of it, and we'll see you guys in episode 3. Goodbye, everyone.